Tonight's guest is Bryan Sawyer.
Looking back on the life that you're leaving, let it rest in a hole in the ground. Stick around for the great revealing, or the fire you've been dancing around. All we hear is the sound of retreating. No one cares where you're coming from. My ears are still ringing and bleeding. I guess we all knew from the start. These are the days my heart goes numb. Yeah, one of these days will be the one. Looking for answers. Oh, what a disaster. These are the days my heart goes numb. My heart goes numb. Breathing the fumes of the ashes, the spirits light up the night. Looking down the
Now, we're live from the Untold Radio Network. It's Untold Radio AM with Monster Quest producer, host Doug Hajicek, and co-host Jeff Perrella Jr. Untold Radio AM is going live right now. This show is for entertainment purposes only. Yep, that's the ticket. Now here are your Untold Radio AM hosts, Doug Hajicek and Jeff Perrella Jr.
Hello, everyone.
Perfect timing.
Live without a net. Who knows what kind of shenanigans we can get into?
Yeah, on a Sunday night. Good evening, everybody, our loved and appreciated live audience.
Big time. Love to have you folks here. So
Yeah,
good to
I
see
mean,
everybody.
And they're not just an audience, they're part of the show.
Yeah.
For sure.
And our, and our friends.
Yeah, and we put a lot of your comments up. Like, if you're new to this, you know, you don't have to wonder if you put any kind of good comment, it's going up.
Yeah.
So we will continue that tonight, I think. So we've got a really good show ahead. We've got guest Bryan Sawyer.
Yep.
Who is already procured in the back room. He's already here.
Yep.
Right. Oh, we'll keep him back there safe. And Bryan and I and you, Jeff, are going to go deep into the Bigfoot mystery.
Looking forward to it.
Cover all sorts of little nuances. I'm
Yeah.
sure that Bryan likes to talk about.
Yeah.
And Bryan is with Bigfoot's. I think he said Bigfoot of America. I think it's Bigfoots of America.
Bigfoots. Yeah.
Is it?
He's laughing, nodding his head. Yep. Bigfoots.
He's
I like
laughing. Okay. Anyhow, I think we're going to have fun with Bryan.
Yeah, for sure.
So we got a full night. It's packed. We've got audience trivia, clips, weird and fast news, the weird fact of the week, which is always strange, curious, and a little unsettling, especially to Jeff.
Yeah, can be.
Yeah, he calls me in the middle of the night and just tells me how that weird fact just kept him up all night.
That's actually never happened, but sure, why not?
Why me? And so tonight we're going to open the door just a little bit wider, and we're going to also offer, if somebody has got a really good story and they want to come on, we will send you a link tonight, and you can join us live with Bryan, with me and Jeff. Tell your story, and you can leave then right away, or you can hang out, whatever. We don't care. So if somebody wants to come on and share some kind of cool encounter or story, I mean, it can be anything. We don't care.
Sure. Anything interesting?
Yeah. As long as it's I don't want to hear about your grocery shopping trip. which could be really interesting and strange.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, put my email up there, jeffp@untoldradioam.com.
and just give Jeff a little line of what you want to talk about. Just a little bit. A sentence. Yeah. All right. Moving on. What else we've got? I think that's about it. So just, get those lights dim, get in your easy chair, pop out the footstool. If you have a easy chair, put your feet up, get a blanket, Jeff likes this part, get your favorite beverage.
A beverage. I just got water. I just had that one time. You said it was okay, so.
It was okay.
You'd have to ask me twice.
No, that's for damn sure I didn't have to ask you twice. Anyhow, but you're right where you're supposed to be. So let's go ahead and let's hit it with our weird and fast news.
Here we go.
It's time for weird and fast news. Yeah! It's time for weird and fast news.
All right. That was weird and fast, that bumper.
Yeah. And as always, it's not a contest.
No. All right. First up, a giant blob of warm water was found under Antarctic ice sheet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm glad it's not on top.
It's an actual photograph, by the way.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
As always.
There it is, and it glows red, the blob. So scientists are studying Antarctica, and they're continuing to. They've discovered a massive underground pocket of warm water buried beneath the Ross Ice Shelf, a hidden reservoir nearly the size of Florida. It's big enough for you to hot tub in.
Yeah.
Apparently, they're using satellites and seismic sensors. And the researchers have detected this unexpected thermal zone running beneath the ice, like a concealed ocean, basically. And they're saying it measures up. This says, I don't even believe this hardly. Measures up to 70 degrees.
70 degrees?
No, 70 degrees Fahrenheit warmer than the surrounding frozen environment.
That's still crazy.
You'd have to do some math on that one.
That's really warm.
So that's pretty warm. And so what makes this discovery unsettling is that the warm water appears to be melting the ice shelf. Now, I would imagine that's coming from some volcanic activity.
You think so? Yeah, it's got to be some kind of geological event going on down there.
There you go. So that's the blob.
Weird and fast.
It's weird. No, it wasn't fast, but it was weird.
Mm-hmm.
If I can scroll, my scrolling thingamajiggy isn't working. So
I want to get that looked at.
Yeah, I'll get a mechanic over here. If it needs an oil change.
Good. You never know.
The mouse fluid is low. All right. Next, SpaceX Starship survived a re-entry partially. So apparently it broke apart, but they recovered the data box. It says in a recent test flight, SpaceX massive Starship rocket successfully reached space, but broke apart during the re-entry, scattering debris across the Gulf of Mexico. While the breakup wasn't the intended outcome, engineers recovered a critical data that will help them refine how the Starship handles the brutal heat and stress of the atmospheric return. So, okay, now explain this to me, Jeff. I thought they were way past this crap.
I don't know that he's ever had that.
I thought they were past figuring out how to do reentries. And
I don't think it's gone all the way out of the atmosphere, to be honest. I could be remembering wrong. I don't think it's gone all the way out, like to high orbit.
So this is one that's way up there, out in space.
I think that's what's going on.
Gotcha.
But I haven't been following the story very well.
Anyhow, it says this was a necessary step towards making the spacecraft reusable and eventually sending humans to Mars.
Mm-hmm.
It says the weird twist came from the ground as the rocket disintegrated. Skywatchers across Texas live streamed what looked like glowing, twisting fire serpent streaking across the sky.
Cool.
So there you go. I need some root beer. Hold on.
Moving on.
I've been talking too much. All right. What do we got now? We got this weird tool use. Apparently, octopuses. Is that octopi?
I can't remember. I think so. I want to say, why not? Such a great word, octopi.
Octopuses are found using coconut shells as tools. So I thought that kind of interesting. And there it is. It's a real picture I took.
Mm-hmm. Actual photograph.
Yeah, it is.
You took yourself this morning.
Yeah.
Just got back to the coast.
Nothing but the best. It was a long flight, but I got the picture. Marine biologists working off the coast of Indonesia have documented wild octopuses doing something straight out of science fiction, using coconut shells as portable shelters. The octopuses were seen collecting discarded shell halves and carrying them across the seafloor and snapping them back together to form protective armor when predators approached. So apparently tool use is rare, obviously, in the animal kingdom. And seeing this in octopuses, known for their problem solving and escape artistry, reinforces how alien intelligence can look like on Earth.
They are thoroughly amazing animals.
Yes, they are. Especially that one I took a picture of.
In Indonesia this morning.
Yes. I love air travel. Okay. And now they have discovered a new gecko species that glows blue under UV light. In the rainforests of Madagascar, that's off the coast of Africa, researchers have identified a new species of dwarf gecko with a remarkable trait. Its skin glows bright blue under ultraviolet light. I think everything glows bright blue under ultraviolet light, damn near, doesn't it? I found that interesting. This glow isn't caused by pigment or reflection. The gecko's tissue actually fluoresces, absorbing UV radiation and re-emitting it as visible light. The mystery is why. Scientists don't yet know whether the glow is used for nighttime communication, camouflage, predator deterrence, or mating displays. So there we go. Wow. As you remember, I suspect Bigfoot see in the ultraviolet spectrum.
Yeah, I think there's some evidence of that. I think that's very possible.
I think so too. But maybe someday we'll know. All right, then a drunken raccoon.
Wait a minute, that looks like somebody I went to school with. Oh, never mind.
That's not what we mean by your favorite beverage. A drunken raccoon's liquor store rampage victory. So in Ashland, Virginia, a raccoon broke into a closed liquor store by crashing through the ceiling tiles, knocking bottles to the floor and helping itself to whiskey and scotch. It's your buddy.
Taste. Yeah.
It's your buddy. When employees arrived the next morning, they found the animal passed out in the bathroom. Apparently intoxicated enough to sleep off its adventure while animal control was called. So apparently now the liquor store is using a raccoon for their logo.
Yeah, why wouldn't you? That's awesome. What a great story.
It's a viral thing waiting to happen.
Crazy.
All right. Next. What do we got here? How many more? Pentagon. Now some people have seen this. A lot of people haven't. Pentagon releases UAP. What did I just say? UAP footage that shocks lawmakers. This is where the missile bounces off this unidentified object. Have you seen this, Jeff?
Yeah.
Oh, you have?
Yeah, we have the clip right here.
I know, but I mean, have you seen it before?
Mm-hmm. I have, yeah.
Oh, you have? Okay. Mm-hmm. Well, this is for the people that haven't.
Yeah, it's a really cool clip.
In a newly revealed clip from October 30th, 2024, it was a military encounter off the coast of Yemen. A U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone had an infrared video. It took infrared video that appears to show a Hellfire missile impact on an unidentified aerial object. Now, what in the hell are they shooting Hellfire missiles at these things for?
It doesn't seem like a good idea.
It just doesn't. Yeah, it's like, really?
Unless they know what they are. Maybe they know what they are.
Well, you would think you would almost have to before you start shooting missiles.
You would think
at
so. I mean, yeah, they would have to know what it is.
Anyhow, it says the object just continued on its path as if nothing happened. So let's go ahead and just play the footage here for anybody that has not seen.
Tonight, new never-before-seen video off the coast of Yemen showing a U.S. MQ-9 Reaper drone tracking a glowing orb as it flies over the water. Now watch closely as a different U.S. drone drops a Hellfire missile on that fast-moving orb. The missile appearing to bounce off the object, doing very little damage. The orb then zipping away unfazed. The video from October 2024 shown during a congressional hearing today on unexplained anomalous phenomena. That's the official name for UFOs.
Do you solemnly swear?
Several service members giving their own eyewitness accounts and reacting to that new video.
Does this video scare you guys? Yes or no?
Yes.
Wiggins?
Yes. Yes.
And there are big questions right now. Why was that missile fired? Did that object pose any risk? Or is there any other explanation out there? Gio Benitez, ABC News, New York.
There
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it looked like it kind of moved it a little bit.
Very little, though. You'd think it, if nothing else, it would knock it off its course, but it didn't.
Well,
So
what do you know about Hellfire missiles? Anything?
not a lot.
I don't either. I don't know nothing about them. Nothing.
Me neither.
Okay.
That was a weird fact. Oh, the week?
Yeah, let's do that weird haunting fact of the week.
Oh, the week. Here we go.
It's now time for Untold Radio Weird Fact of the Week. That is kind of weird.
Is that your bodyguard?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
He's guarding my scotch and whiskey from raccoons.
Could happen. Okay. Time moves faster at higher elevations.
Did not know that.
Yes, there are places on Earth where time literally moves faster than it does just a few feet away because of Einstein's theory of relativity. Clocks placed at higher elevations tick slightly faster than clocks at lower elevations due to weaker gravity. Okay. Which doesn't really make much sense.
Well, if you think about it, they're moving
brain.
faster too. The higher up you are, if you're geosynchronous, the higher up you are, the faster you're moving. That's the way circles work. You know what I mean?
That's the way Scotch works too.
That too.
This means that people living on mountains are aging faster, getting older quicker than people at sea level by tiny fractions of a second. Whoop-de-doo. It's not theoretical. Atomic clocks placed at mountaintops have confirmed the effect, and GPS satellites have to be constantly corrected for the navigational systems, otherwise would drift by miles each day. So that's quite a bit for the GPS.
That's crazy.
So I'm moving to the basement tonight.
Stay younger.
Yeah, I want to stay younger.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Could probably, knock off a half a second.
That's why.
Something like that. What time is it? 7:21. Let's, I've got some short audience trivia.
Okay.
And what should we not do? What should we not give away?
Well, it's definitely not a contest, so we're not going to give anything away for any winners because there's no winners. But we might accidentally drop something in the mail. Accidentally. And there may or may not be something in it.
What should it be? Accidentally.
I don't know.
Bottle of scotch.
I think there might be some issues with doing that.
Half drunk bottle of scotch? No.
I have several of those.
How about let's do a book.
Okay.
And who picks out these books? I never do. I never get to hear. I never get to pick. Are you picking them out, or is Alex?
No.
Is that Alex picking them out?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
You could probably give him a suggestion. He'd probably do what you suggest. I'm just going to guess.
Yeah, because it's not a contest. All right. So the trivia, if anybody wants to play, we need what? 2 people? And it's on. I'm not going to say what it's on. I'm not telling anybody. So you got to volunteer. Somebody who hasn't done it yet.
Yeah, let's get some new people, some new blood. Who wants to play?
Yeah, time to start putting up some of these really witty comments. There we go. We already got people trained. See? Not a contest. It's official. Oh.
Well, we got a volunteer. Cerebral. I don't know what your name is, but
Cerebral.
We're just going to call you Cerebral. How's that sound?
Okay, and then
just volunteer.
And then there's another one right below there. Kathy Z.
Kathy.
Just Kathy. Oh, clever way to spell it.
Kathy Zabrowski.
I'm not keeping score either because it's not a contest. You
right,
have, Jeff. And you always mess it up bad.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Oh, big time.
Okay.
Our numbers don't agree, and I'm always right. So
Sure. Absolutely.
All right. So the topic tonight is owls. It's an owl quiz.
Hold on. Let me get this up. Just because I like getting this up.
Kind of lost us here. What are you getting?
There we go.
Oh, there. Okay. That works. Let's do
it.
Some
music too? Would you like the trivia music?
Sure. If it's on low, doesn't drive me crazy.
Let's see here.
It's kind of like on hold music. All right. First question for our 2 players. And everybody can play along. That's a little loud. There you go.
Better?
Okay. Yeah. And this is, I would say, more expert level owl trivia.
Okay.
So why don't owls get dizzy when rotating their heads so far? Is it extra inner ear fluid, specialized blood vessel reservoirs, or a second spinal column? So it's A, extra inner ear fluid, B, specialized blood vessel reservoirs, or C, a second spinal column. And don't take too long because it's not a contest.
Not a contest.
They both said A, and they're both, well, hold on. Did ARC, let's see, I was looking for, oh, there.
Kathy said A, and they both said A.
Okay.
And they're both wrong.
Everybody's wrong.
Yep.
The answer is B. They have specialized blood vessel reservoirs. All right. What unique say that word.
Adaptation?
Adaptation prevents blood flow in owls from being cut off when the owl turns its head. Is it A, elastic arteries, B, enlarged vertebrae, and arteries with air pockets, or is it C, a flexible skull base? What unique
adaptation
prevents blood flow from being cut off when the owl turns its head? Yeah. A, elastic arteries, B, enlarged vertebrae, arteries with air pockets, or C, a flexible skull base?
Cerebral said B. What does Kathy said C? Well, cerebral is right. It is B, enlarged vertebral arteries with air pockets.
So who scored, Kathy?
Cerebral.
Oh, okay. Well, the name like that, you all better win this contest.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, we don't have a ton of questions. Hang on here. Okay. Which feature allows owls to hunt in near total darkness? Is it A, rod-dense retinas, B, infrared sensitivity, C, reflective eye membranes? Which feature allows owls to hunt in near total darkness? A, rod-dense retinas, B, infrared sensitivities, or C, reflective eye membranes? So it's A, B, or C.
Cerebral says A.
Okay.
And what does Kathy say? Come on, Kathy. Where are you? There she is. B. And cerebral is right again. Rod dense retina. So 2 points for cerebral.
Yeah, there you go. Should I keep going?
Sure.
All right. What is the primary reason owl eyes appear to glow at night? Is it A, light reflection from the retina? Is it B, tapetum lucidum amplifying light? Or C, bioluminescent tissue? What is the primary reason owls' eyes appear to glow at night? A, light reflection from the retina. B, tapetum lucidum amplifying light. Or C, bioluminescent tissue.
So cerebral says B. Kathy says C. And again, cerebral is right. Wow. Knocking out of the park.
These are kind of toughies, aren't they?
Yeah, they are.
All right. Which owl species is known for hunting primarily during the daytime? Is it A, the tawny owl, B, the snowy owl, or C, the barn owl? Which owl species is known for hunting in the daytime? Is it the tawny owl at A? Is it the snowy owl for B, or the barn owl for C?
All right. So cerebral guessed A. What does Kathy say? Both said A. Both wrong. The answer is B, snowy owl. So no points awarded because it's not a contest. And no one's right.
Matt got it right.
Matt got it right. So
Matt
did
got
Mary
it
Jo
right.
and who else?
Jen got it right. There you go.
Matt got it right. Cool.
All right.
Moving on.
Why are owls' flight feathers fringed at the edges? Is it A, to reduce drag, B, to scatter sound waves, or C, to trap heat? Is it to reduce drag, to scatter sound waves, or to trap heat? Why are there, or worn out? I should add D. They're just fringed out. Why are their flight feathers fringed?
So cerebral said A. What's Kathy say? Kathy said C, and both wrong. It's B. To scatter sound waves.
So Jen got it right. Eyes in the Woods got it right. Nick got it right. I think Lane got it right. That's a tough one. What is the primary reason owl eyes appear? Oh, we already did that one.
Yep.
We'd probably get it wrong, right? I'd do
Yeah.
it again and we'd still get it wrong. I'm just looking for an interesting one. How about, just hang on a second here. This is interesting. What percentage of an owl's brain is devoted to visual processing? Is it A, 10%, B, 30, or C, 50? So they get higher as you go. A, B, and C. Which one? Which percentage of the brain? How about you, Jeff? What percentage of your brain is devoted to visual processing?
Half. Half of 1%. I can't see very good. My eyes stink. All right.
What do we got?
Kathy said C.
C.
And what did cerebral say? Did cerebral always say? Oh, you know what? Cerebral said B already. I missed that. So
The answer is
C. So Kathy's on the board with 1 point.
Kathy.
But it's not a contest. We're not keeping track. It's not a
No.
contest.
No. All right.
One more?
Yeah, we'll do one more here. I think that'll. Well, it's kind of stupid because then Kathy can't win.
Okay, so 2 more.
I'll have to do 2 more. Give Kathy a chance. All right. Hear my phone? My phone is going off. Somebody's calling me. All right. Which statement about owl bones is true? A, they are heavier than other bird bones. They are more flexible than other bird bones. Or C, they contain reinforced structures to handle head rotation. Which statement about owl bones is true? Should have that thing where you can call a friend.
All right, what do we got here? Come on, Kathy said C, and Cerebral said C, and they are both right.
Both right. All right.
It's 4-2.
Well, doesn't that mean that Cerebral won?
I think Cerebral won. So please send me your mailing information. Let me write this down again for you. Jeff P. Untold radioam.com. Let me type this.
Turn that damn trivia music off.
Give me a second. I can only do one thing at once here. Maybe 2 things at once. There's that.
Oh,
and
thank you.
There's that.
Good job. Congratulations for not winning nothing.
So Cerebral, send me your mailing address and real name, and we'll keep it private.
Yeah, and maybe,
possibly,
Alex will mail something, no charge.
It could happen.
But you didn't win anything.
There's no prize, not a contest.
Nope. All right, let's do the clip picks quick.
Okay, do the clips quick.
And then I think we're going to get to Bryan.
All right, here we go.
Clip 1. Sound is good. And I have never seen these little creatures called vulturine guinea fowl. And I just think about these things like chasing you down the road. They look like speed turkeys to me. Go ahead and play this.
Speed turkeys?
Speed turkeys. They look like little velociraptors. It's the way they act.
They kind of are velociraptors.
Look at this. Play that again.
That is a cool looking bird.
Yeah, but they look so intense. I know if like those things were chasing you, you'd be running fast.
Yeah.
Clip 2, the sound is good. What we're going to see next is what they call a chaos pendulum. It's really, really cool. It represents life, basically. The butterfly effect. Basically, a butterfly effect in a visual. Go ahead.
This is your life. I'm not joking. This is scientifically accurate. This is a chaos pendulum, and you're looking at the butterfly effect visualized. Even the tiniest difference in starting conditions gets amplified over time into dramatically different paths. It's impossible to recreate the exact same trajectory, no matter how precisely you try. This means your smallest choices and actions can completely reshape your future. One tiny decision today could send your life in an entirely different direction tomorrow.
That's pretty cool.
Looks like I get my way out of a parking lot. I swear, I get into some of these crazy mall parking lots. You know what I'm talking about.
I do. I don't know why they're designed so goofy, asymmetrical, and weird.
Oh my God! I get in there and I can't get out.
Yeah, I don't understand that kind of urban planning. I don't get it at all.
All right, have you ever seen the Lettuce Lake video, Jeff?
You know, it looks familiar. I don't remember it, but it looks kind of familiar.
It's just one of those videos that makes you go, it's quite old. I don't get it because the guys in the boat are making quite a bit of noise, but just go ahead and play this. I'd love to hear your comments on whether you think it's real. It's definitely not a bear. I mean, you can clearly see the 2 legs. Do you hear all the rattling they're making with the anchor in the boat? And yeah, it does kind of move off when it hears them making noise, but
And this is pre-AI video too, so this isn't AI slop.
no, and it's too crappy to be a hoax. It really is. If they were going to hoax something, they would have done a better job with it.
Yeah, I have seen this before, and it's compelling. It's interesting footage. It's not immediately identifiable. Yeah, gosh, that
guy in a suit wandered around inside.
not in a swamp like that. That's
Anyhow,
pretty cool. Cool footage.
all right. Have you ever heard of the Troxler effect?
I don't think so, but
Oh,
maybe. I don't know.
You're about to.
Are we about to? Cool.
Yeah, this will demonstrate it.
Okay.
This optical illusion is so weird. Concentrate on the green dot. Just keep staring at it. Try not to blink and try and keep your device an equal distance away from your face. Don't move it around too much. As you keep staring at that green dot, you'll notice that the yellow dots surrounding it begin to disappear. Now they may vanish all at once, or they might disappear one at a time. It's a really weird optical illusion, because when you look away from the green dot and back to the yellow dots, you'll see that they were there the whole time. The yellow dots didn't go anywhere. What you're experiencing is something called the Troxler effect. As you stare at the green dot, your brain filters out unimportant information in your peripheral vision, in this case, the yellow dots. Now, it does exactly the same thing in day-to-day life with your nose. I mean, think about it. You can see your nose anytime you want to, but as you're looking at things day to day, your brain just filters it out because it's unimportant information. This is a great little optical illusion. Let me know in the comments if it worked for you, and share it with a friend so they can...
That's pretty cool.
That's good to know, though, because I would imagine some people definitely can, I mean, some people have really big noses. And they really need that Troxler effect.
It's interesting.
Yeah.
Well, another application of that is when your glasses are dirty, everybody else can notice that your glasses are dirty except you.
Right.
Your brain kind of blocks it out.
Just filters it out.
Mm-hmm.
All right, next clip. The sound is good. This is a red-lipped batfish. And they're so strange because they've kind of evolved to walk on the bottom of the ocean in very deep areas of the ocean with their fins. I know this has been enhanced by AI, but this fish is real.
Yeah, I've seen this before. Definitely a real fish.
Isn't that just, God, there's so many weird creatures on Earth.
Yep.
All right, clip 6. Sound is good, and every time I come across a clip like this, I just stare at it in wonder of the engineering that went in to early vehicles in the 1800s. I mean, they had no CNCs, no digital, they had no computers, no CAD design. They had rulers and pencils.
And kind of everything was a new idea. It's amazing.
Everything was new. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go ahead and play this because this thing, it's a steam engine, a steam powered motorcycle. Still runs.
That's really cool.
Yeah, it is really neat. I just really do love the amazing creativity that went on in the 1800s during that kind of industrial.
I think I would have loved to have been around the Industrial Revolution, just inventing all that stuff. And
so cool.
Mad scientist. I love it.
All right. So now anybody over probably 55 in the audience is really going to appreciate this clip. It's just a 70s, a little film clip from Kmart. But you look at it and you realize how different life has gotten. Go ahead and play it.
Oh, that's a 60 Galaxy right there. That blue
Not
car.
only the cars, it's the colors of the cars and it's just, I don't know, it's everything. Women in dresses.
Yeah.
Just going
different
to
time.
Kmart. Yeah, it's a different time. I don't think my mom ever left the house without a dress.
My grandma didn't. She didn't. I don't think she ever wore pants until probably the 80s. Yeah, she just the way she was.
But when I see
Always
that,
wore a dress.
it's always like, whoa.
Yeah.
I remember. All right, clip 8. This explains how tigers get their stripes. It's quite interesting.
A tiger's stripes are not painted on its coat. They are written into its skin. Each stripe follows precise genetic patterning formed before birth, controlled by morphogen gradients in the embryo. Even if the fur is shaved, the stripes remain, mapped into the dermis itself. This isn't camouflage by chance. Studies show stripe contrast improves concealment by over 30% in forest light. Nature didn't decorate the tiger, it engineered it.
It's cool.
Very cool.
Yep.
What do we got?
I got to skip 9. I've just, 9. It looks like I lost the video. Just got the audio. But here's clip 10.
Yeah, clip 10 is really interesting because quartz is just a magical rock, and
It really is.
A lot of people have asked me, where you have like Bigfoot activities, there are a lot of quartz. I don't know what that has to do with it. Well, we'll talk to Bryan about that. But go ahead and play this because...
An interesting thing happens when you break quartz crystals. On one side of the crystal that got broke, there's a positive charge, and on the other one, there's a negative charge. And the charges can jump from one side to the other. So the electrons jump through the air, and it creates a plasma, or a little spark, when it jumps across. So in order to see this, we need to break these crystals. Now, one good way to break the crystals a bunch of times in a row to keep continuous light is just to rub the two together. Okay, now watch this. This phenomenon is called triboluminescence. And people sometimes call this cold fire because the sparks that form are actually hot, but they produce a lot of light. So this won't start a fire or anything, but you could light your way with it. Triboluminescence has been known for a long time. In fact, it's said that the indigenous Ute tribes of America, thousands of years ago, gathered quartz crystals and put them in buffalo hide. So basically they made quartz rattles with a little bit of skin around it that could let through light.
Wow.
I'm going to have Eric make one of those for us.
Yeah.
That'd be cool, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
You would think somebody as a novelty would, quartz isn't expensive. Get
No,
a bunch
pretty
of
common.
quartz rocks, put them in a rattle, and kind of shake it and it lights up. That would be cool.
Right, so it's about 1:45.
Yeah, let's go ahead and get
Got
Bryan.
a quick ad to play. You want to play the ad first?
Sure. That's
All right, we'll be right back.
At the Untold Radio Network, Bigfoot doesn't have time to stage fake accidents. He's too busy dodging trail cams and running from campers.
There he is. Come on,
So
quick, before he
relax.
gets away.
Your insurance is safe. Use that free time to binge podcasts that go way deeper than footprints in the mud. The Untold Radio Network has all your favorite shows in one place. Watch or download everywhere
You phony!
great podcasts are found.
I didn't hit you.
Once again, actual footage.
Yeah. It's amazing how we get
Yeah.
that. Yeah, it's amazing. Anyhow, Bryan Sawyer, he's a researcher, producer, podcaster. He hosts Bigfoots, just Bigfoots of
Mhm.
America.
We were right.
Yeah, we were right. It's a podcast, but he goes way beyond just being a host. He gets out in the field a lot. Let's just go ahead and get Bryan on. Let's welcome him.
Sure. Pull this off and welcome Bryan.
Hey
There he
guys,
is.
how are you?
Hi, Bryan.
Good. I love the hat.
Thank you, sir. Yep.
So that's either Bigfoots of America or Bigfoots of Michigan.
It's both. The podcast show is called Bigfoots of America. I started that because I was kind of getting overloaded. I go out at least once a week. So the primary bread and butter is the Bigfoots of Michigan. And the whole Bigfoots thing is a personal joke. Because I sat there and went back and forth one day. Is it Big Feet? Is it Bigfoot? And then I thought of a pride of lions. And I'm like, you know what? Bigfoot can be pretty ferocious. So I'm going to go with Bigfoots. So personal joke.
I like it.
Okay. Do you live in Michigan then?
Oh, yes. Yeah. I'm in Sandusky, Michigan, which is in the heart of the thumb and what I call now the Bigfoot Triangle.
Yeah, there's a lot of activity there. Let's talk about why. Why is Michigan a hotspot? Because to me, it's got forests, tons of water, tons of game, a lot of hills, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of the geographic sweet spot.
Yeah, without a doubt. And then only like 4% of Michigan's population live in the UP. And so Bigfoot sightings are I would say, more common in the UP.
Yeah.
But, really this whole thing kicked off with me because I had a fairy sighting in my house when I first moved here. And
whoa, back the truck up, Bryan.
Oh, yeah, you guys want to hear this. We're going crazy tonight.
Yeah, let's go crazy. I want to hear all these.
Yeah, so like so many people, I went through a divorce. You got to relocate at the same time. My father's falling ill. He passes away. His estate here, which is just a little house with some acreage here in Sandusky, Michigan. Now think of Sandusky as the Shire, in the Hobbit movies. It's a little town in the middle of nowhere. Like if you're going up I-75, which is the main interstate, you're going to pass right by Sandusky. It's too far to the east, it's up here in that thumb. So I move up here and I'm renovating. We had me and my brother and my sister, unfortunately, had kind of let the house go. And so we're trying to figure out what to do with the estate. Like I said, I'm recently divorced. So my brother and my sister are like, hey, man, just take it over, fix it up, sell it, make a profit, and then we'll split the profit. So I get up here and I'm here not too long. And I'm going, I work for Ford Motor Company. I'm an auto worker. I do acting on the side, involved in the independent film business here. So I'm always going. So I'm in the house, I'm fixing it up, putting new gutters on, new roof, everything you can imagine. And I'm pretty, I want to say wound up in the sense of I've been doing physical activity. So
first off, you wound up? Imagine that.
Yeah, you've probably seen some of my stuff. I don't stop. It's weird.
That's good.
So I'm here. I'm fixing up the house, doing all the work myself. So I'm pretty wound up. So I say that because I want to clarify for people at home. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't in that land between sleep and awake. I wasn't imagining anything. I had just gone down to my bedroom to kind of lay down for a minute and think about everything I was doing. I'm Rolodexing in my brain, right? So I just closed my eyes, guys. And I hear a female voice say, I've heard about you. I'm thinking to myself, I'm the only one in the house. I know we had a couple of break-ins when the house was vacant. And so I'm thinking, all right, is there somebody in the house? There's a woman here. What's going on? So I hear, I've heard about you. I've got my eyes closed. I open my eyes expecting to see a girl in the doorway. And there is a fairy hovering right above my face.
Wow. Okay, describe.
Now, this fairy is about the size of my hand. And it's a female. Without a doubt, it's a female. The voice is feminine. The features are feminine. Its eyes, everything. It is a bluish gray color. And it's looking at me like this, guys.
Yikes. That'd be a little unsettling.
Right. So I'm blown away. I have opened my eyes. I'm looking at this thing, and unexpectedly, out of my mouth, a natural reaction comes, I can see you, right? And her reaction was off the charts. As soon as I said, I can see you, right? She goes from doing this to zips across the room, and I've got what I would call a junction box where the DVD player plugs into, the cable plugs into, and then that filters up to the TV. Well, it's lit up, so the power is on. She zips across the room and right into that junction box. So she transcended from physical reality into the electrical outlet or whatever you want to call it, through the electricity of the house, and disappeared. So my mind is blown. Like I said, I'm wide awake. The next thing I know, she's floating and she's hovering. She's got wings. Okay. She looked like kind of a cross between an alien gray type eyes with very human features and a bug. Size of my hand, hovering about a foot over my face.
Close?
Little
close?
Very close. And she was intently checking out my features.
No, Brian. Does she have clothes on?
Oh, no, I don't think so. No.
Okay.
I was focused on the face. It was an oval shaped head. And then as soon as I opened my eyes and I said, I can see you, right? Man, right across. She was shocked I could see her. I think she thought I might have been sleeping, and then entered. The house had been vacant, like I said, for a couple of years. Maybe she had started kind of hanging out in the house for a safe place. And and then was surprised I was there. But the crazy part is what she said. I've heard about you. That brings in a whole nother, Doug, you and I, on the NCI show, we talked about interdimensional aspects of cryptids and all this kind of stuff. What thread line are we looking at? Are we looking at ancient humans? Are we looking at aliens? Are we looking at maybe the biblical narrative of the ancestors of the Nephilim? Well, we just don't know. But my mind exploded like, oh my gosh. And I think for me, when that happened, when you see a fairy, I've got to drop any notion I may have had about what is right and what is wrong in this world. Bigfoot became much more simpler in my eyes. And at the same time, there was what we had down the street here called the Cass River sighting. And then there's a dogman sighting quickly after that, just down the town, just down the street a little bit in Carroll, Michigan. And so, there's been an explosion. And so I've been tracking ever since. And I've kind of done a lot of locating, and I've kind of figured out their patterns here in the thumb. And then, of course, I travel around Michigan and interview all the eyewitnesses for the show.
Okay. All right. So I had an experience, Brian, one time many, many years ago. This is in the 70s, maybe like 74 or 75. I was, for a very short time, I was living with my dad. Him and my mom had gotten divorced, so he got an apartment, and I was living down in Minneapolis, but I came up, wanted to kind of come back to our hometown, moved in with him for a month or two. But I went in the kitchen to make some hash or some canned food for us for dinner. He goes, I'll go lay down, take a nap. And I'm in the kitchen, I'm cooking, and I hear a voice, like almost like it's in my ear, saying things. And then I heard another one like giggling, and they sounded little. It's the best I can describe. And I just instantly started running towards my dad's bedroom, and he was running towards me. We collided in the hallway, and he goes, there's little things and little people in my room. And they came up, and what he heard was, he heard a little voice go, shh, he's sleeping, kind of like yours. And we collided, and we talked about what we'd both heard. And what are the chances two people in two separate rooms? So I'm not belittling your story, but here's the weird part. It never happened again, never happened since.
Right.
What the hell is it that one time you have some kind of interaction with something like that? Doesn't that bother you? Like, why once?
No, well, that bothers me because now I want to know her name.
Yeah.
I want to know more about her. When we talk about Bigfoot, I have to remind myself, holy crap, I've seen a fairy.
It sounds as hokey as it gets. Now, I didn't see anything, but I sure the hell heard.
Right.
I heard this. The other weird thing about this is the fact, like, what state of mind were you in when this all happened? And you, no doubt, if you've got all these moving chores, it's the last thing you're thinking of.
Exactly.
It's not anywhere in your mind.
Right. I raised two boys. We're not sitting around watching Peter Pan, thinking about Tinkerbell.
Right.
We're kind of, rough and tumble type of guys, auto workers. My son's out in the woods all the time, quadding and all that. And so, it was something I guess you could say it was the last thing I would have expected to happen that day, is to have a fairy sighting. And then the reality coming into play going, wait a minute, no matter what I think I know, I don't know.
Right. It doesn't it, and didn't it humble you greatly, Brian? Like, it just
Most
humbles
definitely.
you into all the paradigms are gone. Just everything's gone. Because if you really had it that close where you wasn't a fleeting glimpse, like you communicated, you saw this thing even bust away, and did it smack into the electrical box?
Oh, there was a pop and even sparks, Doug. Like I always do my hand, but like a pop and even sparks. So she thought I was sleeping, realized I was awake when I opened my eyes, and I said, I can see you, right? And then was looking for the quickest exit.
It's so weird. Like yesterday, I had not yesterday, I was the day before yesterday. I had a weird day. I had two electrical things that I walked in here exploded. One was an electrical cord that shorted out all of our, ground fault interrupters, big sparks and everything on an extension cord reel. Okay, that's fine. Could have been a short. The same damn thing happened in the middle of the night, probably about 3 a.m. There was a light blinking. We have these little accent lights, and one was blinking. And I thought, what the hell? So I walked up to it, and I'm just going to examine it. As I got closer, it exploded. And so it's two things in one day. And I'm like, okay, that's great. Well, then on the way home from the other thing, all of my electrics in my car were malfunctioning. So, but once again, it's not a story I can say, well, that happens all the time. It was just that one and done kind of day, So
yeah, I think I'm looking up a quote right now, and I can't. It's from the Mothman Prophecies movie with Richard Gere.
Right.
And the idea is they know that that they exist. And once that happens, we've heard the terminology before about being marked, so to speak. I believe they pay more attention to you, because with that said, then that got me, doing the whole Bigfoot thing. And then now it's even to the point where I've had the mind speak with the Bigfoot. They leave me footprints as gifts, or back here I've got a collection of what I call Y sticks, and I'll gift them. And and from that type of relationship, I've been fortunate enough to hear the samurai chatter, to hear the Sierra Sound type howls. And with all of these experiences, I don't sit there, for the experiences I've had, I don't sit there and go, gee, I wonder if that was a Bigfoot. No, there is no doubt that I just had an experience with a Sasquatch.
Right.
And it's funny because they do not, at least the clan, we've been visited at the house here 2 or 3 times. The old saying is, hey, be careful, they may follow you home. Well, that's happened to me. And that's when I had the mind speak. And what they had said to me through the mind speak, I was coming out of my back door. I had the garbage over my shoulder. It's dark. I got to go back behind the garage where the cans are, kind of back towards the alley. I'm coming out of the light of the porch light, and I hear 3 things. And it's in my head, but yet audible. So I don't know if they were just outside the darkness or just outside the light, but I believe it was mind speak because I heard 3 things. I heard number 1, and it was said in an Indian type voice. I always joke about this. It wasn't like old English, like, hello, Brian, we are so thankful that you have become no, nothing like that. It was 3 things, and it was this. Number 1, thanks for friendship. Number 2, scout. And number 3, forest people.
So kind of like cliche broken English.
Like if you talk to I've been down to the Smoky Mountains, when I was a kid all the time. I'm part Cherokee. My parents were into the Native American culture. And yeah, it would sound like a Native American, thanks for friendship, scout, forest people.
It just sounds so much, Jeff, like the recording we recorded up at Snellgrove, the voice recording.
Yeah.
We recorded this. We had brought Starlink up to this very remote cabin because there's not even any radio signals up. There's nothing. And so we could monitor our cameras live, our little hidden cameras. And they have audio, 2-way audio. And it started out with rocks getting thrown at all of them, even though we had hit them really well. Like you could never find them if you were just, casually looking for them. But then after a rock hit one of them, we hear this. It sounds like it says, what is it? Like, I want to talk with you. It's just so weird. I'll find it. I can play it real quick here. I think some of you guys have heard it. Let me get it real quick here.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool clip.
It is. It's clear as day. It's like it talked right into the microphone. And it literally shook me up. It still shakes me up because we heard it live. We all did. We knew it was right outside the cabin in an area no humans can go. Like we get dropped off by a float plane. We had 500 square miles of wilderness to ourselves. And when you hear a voice, human-like voice, and so my question is, based on what you're telling me, maybe it is what it says it is, which is, just hang on here. God dang it. I wish I had this more ready. I didn't know you'd ever heard that before. Well, keep going, Brian. Keep talking, and I'll look for it, and then I'll jump in when I find it.
Oh, sure. And why it spoke to me, too, I believe was in response. The thanks for friendship was a thank you for gifting them. We had found out, one of my buddies and I had found out, his name is Matthew Sexton, had found out they really like the big red apples we have here in Michigan, organically coming off the tree.
Yep.
So we gift them those things. So I believe that was the thanks for friendship. And then we started receiving footprints and Y sticks after that. And then the second part was I had asked them out loud, what is your name? And so the reply was Scout. And then they wanted to tell me, hey, we don't necessarily like being referred to as Bigfoot. We'd rather be referred to as forest people. So even though I heard thanks for friendship, Scout, and forest people, I knew it was one long thing. Hey, thanks for friendship. We appreciate it. And my name is Scout, and we'd rather be referred to as forest people rather than Bigfoot.
Wow. All right. I found that clip. Let me go ahead and just play it here quick. Let's see. Here we go.
All right, so listen.
Wow.
All right, so listen.
So it sounds like it says phonetically, I'll talk with you.
Oh, yeah.
All right, so listen.
I talk with you.
Yeah.
All right, so listen.
That's
and
it.
that's like clear, right? That's a clear recording. And I still get goosebumps because what did it mean? Is it saying what I think it's saying, or is that just gibberish and I'm interpreting, that Pira Doilia is just kind of zinging around in my brain.
Mm-hmm.
So, but is there anything similar to that, to what you heard? Anything?
Oh, without a doubt. Very similar to that. And then, the second time, which I believe audible, is when they were in the vicinity of our tent. And it was funny because we had kind of a crescent, like a half circle of apples set up. And when they moved in, we were both in our tents and we heard, "Wooda." So if you've ever heard of Neff from Sasquatch, Ontario, so this is the second type of verse I heard. The first voice I heard, the mind speak, sounded just like what you have. But then it varies because it said "Wooda," and it was very low. I talked to my Cherokee friend. He said, I think it said "thank you." And that was the only apple taken. It had come up, taken the apple, said "Wooda," and then walked away. And then, of course, I've heard the samurai chatter as well, which is something different. The whole gibberish. We're me and my buddy, I have my thermal, we're in a bush and they come in and they knew we had hollowed out this huge bush. And so we went in, and they knew we were there, and then they just backed off. And that was at actually a different location. I've got I've got a lot of prominent locations around me. But without a doubt, the first language I heard sounded exactly what you have.
Interesting. So that sounded familiar to you, the tone or the delivery.
Oh, without a doubt.
The vocals?
Without a doubt. Yeah.
Okay. Well, it's interesting to know because, and I always tell people, hey, I don't buy into anything. I just don't know anything. Like I'm just a blank canvas. I don't know anything.
And that's it. I mean, because everybody's experience is different and we really don't have all the information. So if anybody's sold to me, and I try to say this in a kind way, if anybody is sold out that they're all Gigantopithecus, or they're all aliens, or they're all the Nephilim offspring, or an ancient human tribe, I just say, hey, look, we've almost got evidence to, kind of go with all of those theories,
Right.
To support them all.
So let's see. Jeff said he says, yeah, I'll talk with you. And so my question is, what in the hell am I supposed to do with that? And was it meant for me, or was it meant for Adam, or was it meant for Chris or Bud? Who was that comment meant for?
I believe, all right, so now we're going to get deep, okay? I believe you could have responded to that and say, hello, I hear you. Keep it very simple. Now, I'm not a guru on this, but I am learning as we go. And what sticks out in my mind is one of my prominent eyewitnesses, a gal by the name of Sherry Redu. Up on the northern shores of Michigan, at the northern portion of Lake Michigan, she had a very profound encounter with what I would call an ancient alpha Sasquatch. And he mind spoke with her. And what was very interesting, we've done a lot of research. We filmed up there twice. We're going a third time to film. He gave his name. His name was Naboo. And let me paint a picture for you. Whenever you go to a party or you go to a social gathering and you meet new people, you're there and hey, how you doing? My name's Brian. Hey, what do you do? I'm an auto worker. You kind of learn about each other and their life stories, right?
Right.
So, what happens is everybody wants to share their life stories. You want to tell the person you meet, if you kind of hit it off, a little bit about yourself, and then you want to shut up and you want to listen to what they have to say about their life. Well, at first, this initial encounter with Sherry Redu was scary. But then we kind of backtracked, and she started to get mind speak. She started to get visits at her house, and we realized that this Naboo, this alpha Sasquatch, wanted to tell his story. And what we found out, what we figure is this particular Sasquatch could be anywhere between 200 and 300 years of age. Now, I've heard stories before about these these beings being quite old, anywhere up to 500, 700 years of age. Well, this story that this Sasquatch told Sherry, we did some digging. And what he said, I am the guardian and keeper of the children. Something to that effect.
But this came in through what they would call mind speak, correct?
Correct. This is Sherry's account.
Okay.
Well, what had happened is he gave her some direction, and we found a cemetery of Native American children who were part of an Indian tribe. Some missionaries came in and basically brought their disease and infected the whole Indian village, and a whole ton of the children died. And this Sasquatch wanted to tell its story about. Now, this is going to sound crazy. You know, we have the stories of Sasquatch rescuing children, but then we also have the scary stories of Sasquatch. You know, we've all heard pros and cons. This particular Sasquatch said he was the guardian and keeper of the children of the forest. And when we found that cemetery, and just kind of pasting the historical facts, the historicity of that particular area, we realized that he was connected to all of these Native American children who were infected by whatever disease it was that was brought in by the missionaries, and he lost all these children. He may have had a relationship back there, you know, 200-300 years ago, when there was a Native American settlement up in that part of Michigan, and all those children died. And he may have been expressing his pain and anguish, emotional, and then we figured he'd been watching Sherry for some time. She frequents that area. She's a rock collector along the shoreline of Lake Michigan. And finally, he made himself known and then we also have physical evidence of, I've got a footprint from it. Just the way things unfolded were very intriguing. And so, yeah, I believe that sometimes they just want to tell their story like humans. And then I also believe there are different levels of Sasquatch, different levels of abilities, you know, just like us. You know, some may be more physical. Who knows? Some may be. I had heard one time from Matthew Sexton that he believes the alphas are the one that are able to summon up the portals. But then do they grow into those interdimensional abilities? We don't know. But I look at it like dogs and cats. There are so many different kinds of dogs, different breeds of dogs. I believe it's the same thing with Sasquatch. Some may be more Gigantopithecus-like, more animalistic, where some may be even more human-like with ancient abilities that we have lost maybe over time.
What do you really think? I'm
settled. I'm telling you everything. I'm settled on those three threads.
That's awesome. Okay. So yeah, the whole mind speak and the whole thing. I mean, it's just, you know, it's not something I've ever explored or experienced. But on the same token, I'm open to it. Les Stroud talks about it.
I wouldn't have believed it, Doug, unless I first had the fairy sighting and then had the mind speak happen to me. Because like you said earlier, you know, come on, let's be frank about this. Most people are just trying to go to work, do the 9 to 5, come home, take care of their families, put food and milk on the table, all that kind of thing. The day is busy enough rather than to dig to this kind of thing. Well, that's what I'm doing. I'm digging into it. We're digging into it. We're trying to shed some light. So people, just for the fact that people, you know, who have been traumatized by this, don't think they're crazy. I'm here boldly saying, hey, look, guys, you know, I wasn't necessarily on board with all this until I had my fairy sighting.
Crazy. Okay. Do you have continued like mind speak on occasion?
I have not had any.
Is it only in the woods? Is it at home? Is it?
Well, I'm very careful with that. I believe I only had the one encounter.
Okay.
So, all right. So let's get where the rubber meets the road on this. You have to be very careful to not board what I call the crazy train on all this stuff.
Exactly.
Okay, I gotta go to work. You know,
Jeff?
I'm still holding a job down.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Have I joined the crazy train?
No comment.
Have you boarded the crazy train?
I was just wondering.
No, I don't think so.
Okay. But by the way, I want to reach out to Flat Rockland. If you've got any damn recordings, you better not be holding out. He said he's got some recordings of voices and stuff. And I'm like, I know him pretty good. If you have anything that you want to share tonight, even, we can get you on and you can share it real quick with talking, since we're talking about talking. So, all right, after all these experiences, Bryan, how do we go back to normal and just pay our damn bills? It's hard, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is actually hard.
Yeah, you really have to.
Mundane crap.
You have to usher self-control. You know, we're all adults. You have to be a productive member of society. I just put it in the box over here, you know, and then I go to that box and I open it up. As I was saying, I believe I really only had the one mind speak encounter because I could find no physical evidence of it. You know, both my girlfriend and I heard the banging on the camper. We've heard the growl outside our window. When that happens, I go gift them. When I was in my tent, I physically heard the, you know, what the? I've heard that.
You got to back up. These are amazing things you're telling me. Okay, so you're in the camper and it gets smacked.
Yeah, we actually, the camper is on our property here in Sandusky.
Okay.
We're in the house, okay, and yeah, start hearing banging on the camper. So
how loud?
Loud. Yeah. So let me clarify again. Every experience we've had, it's very clear as to what's going on. It is not tap, tap, tap. No, it's wham, wham, wham. Okay.
Yeah.
So she goes out. She's a little bit frazzled, and she's actually seen him peeking out behind the trees. She's heard him grunt. So we go out there, and this was, I believe, our first experience. After we've been at a couple of locations, she comes with me a lot, and so she went out there with a gun, and then I just said, "Hey." I'd kind of schooled up on Scott Carpenter, all the different narratives, David Pilates. I just try to pull all this together. And so I just spoke out loud, hey, could you please not bang on the camper anymore? And could you please not bang on the house? It's very old. And please don't jump on the roof. It's very old. So guys, what happens after that? We hear just outside our window, not too long after that, a growl. And think of,
can you duplicate it, Bryan? The growl?
Yeah, just go along the lines of a lion or a tiger with that low. And it wasn't like a, hey, I'm going to scare you type of growl. It was, I felt like it was saying, I'm here. And I just responded, hey, I hear you. I hear you. Then I went out and gifted after that. But it was, so that's about the best I can do. But it was kind. It sounds crazy. How can a growl be kind? But it was and I'm like, I just said, I hear you. And I believe it was saying, hey, I'm here. You asked me not to bang on the camper. And I believe it's this individual scout. And I believe I do have a picture of him. I probably should have sent you that beforehand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't too organized today with you, Bryan. Sorry.
Oh, you know what, Doug? No, it's good to finally be on the show. We've been talking for a couple of years now. It's just good to connect.
Yeah. So bears make kind of that blah, 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 blah sound, but only when they're like confronting you and they're really pissed off. Black bears. They would never do that like out in the, out alone or outside. And
right outside my bedroom window. We're like this
no.
little town in the middle of nowhere, and I live almost in the middle of town in a residential area.
Right, but there's forests real nearby you, I bet.
Oh yeah, it's all around. You can once you leave town, you're driving a half hour to the next town.
Do you think like I do that they probably find more food around that edge of the town than anywhere? I mean, there's nothing out in the middle of nowhere. There really isn't any food.
Yeah, what's so crazy about my area? It's kind of a special area. Think about, like I said, the Bigfoot Triangle. We have a place called the Minden City Swamp. And running southeast out of that Minden City Swamp is what we call the Black River here. And then running southwest out of that Minden City Swamp is called the Cass River. It goes down, and then we have I-69 along the bottom, and there's been some sightings along that highway corridor as well. But they're basically feeding off of those two rivers. All the game comes in, the deer, all the critters, beaver, all that kind of stuff. And so they hang to those two rivers. And from what I can tell, off the top of my head, and this is what I'm about to say is absolutely crazy, but I kind of want to wake people up.
Are you trying to top yourself, Bryan?
I want to
Well, I'm glad, because I just told a bunch of crazy stories, so feel free.
Here's what I'm going to say. There are way more of these creatures than you would ever imagine.
I think you might be right about that, as scary as that sounds, because I just don't see them as like this really rare thing. I've had too many run-ins in too many places.
Yep. They are just the ultimate professional at hiding, at standing still, at acting like a log, whatever. I've got a gal right down the street from me. She's got a Sasquatch who walks through her yard. The first night it came, it walks through her yard. It stood there, and she's in her flower bed, and she looks up, and there it is just standing at her. And it looked at the water, looked back at her, and she was just freaked out. She said she didn't scream or anything, but she just kind of backed off. And then it walked down to Lake Huron, which is just not far from me. And then almost every night in the summertime, it's coming down and it's jumping in the water. And here they go gangbusters. You probably heard of the recent Monroe monster sighting back in the spring. It's basically when the ice thaws and the fish are accessible again, they go nuts. They don't care if you see them walking in the daytime or what. They want those fish so bad because they're tired of living off of the deer. You know,
Right, and
the
fish are spawning shallow. A lot of the walleyes come in shallow then. There's other species that come. I mean, they're like catchable with your bare hands.
Yep.
And when they're because they're distracted, with other activities.
Without a doubt.
That's so interesting. The Great Lakes are absolutely, there's so many sightings around the Great Lakes. And God dang. So have you seen one yet?
I've caught Scout, what I believe is Scout on camera. I was interviewing an eyewitness, and she had walked off, and I'm telling you, Doug, I heard a grunt, set my tripod down, swing the camera around, and I caught him. And I'll show you that picture after the show.
Okay. But how about have you ever laid eyes on one just standing there or walking away?
Sneaking up behind me on this thermal here. So about, I think it was 4 a.m.
What brand thermal?
I really love this. I mean, I hope to get one that picks up sound as well, but this is camera and video on this. This is the Burris BTH50, phenomenal piece of machinery right there. I have a private landowner. I'm only allowed to say so much with this guy. This is one of these people who they like having Bigfoot on their property and they like no one knowing about it. I got invited out. I can't give too many details. So I do my first overnight there, and they explained to me how things work and when the Sasquatch showed themselves and all that kind of stuff. And about 4 a.m, I got out to go pee out of the tent, right? And my guy, the landowner's with me in this big tent, and I work midnight, so it's easy for me to stay up all night long. And every time I'm with somebody, they're usually passing out in the tent after 1, 2 a.m. And so I'm still awake, and I'm just laying there listening. Well, I hear a huge splash in the pond that's not too far from us. Now, here's another key, Doug. It's a naturally spring-fed pond. That's a big.
That's important. Yeah.
Yeah. Very
Spring
important.
water is a big thing.
Yes. So I hear a huge splash, like even bigger than what if you threw a deer in there or something. So I'm like, okay, that's not normal. So I'm out there. Yeah. So I hear it and I get out and I'm learning how to use this thing. So I go pee. I got my headlamp on at the time. And so I get this thing working and I'm very logical in the sense that I'm kind of like you. I don't necessarily believe things until they happen. And so I'm focusing this thing in on the pond and I don't see anything. Okay. And then I kind of pan to my right. So let's say the pond is 12 o'clock. So I pan to my right at like 2 or 3 o'clock and I get a thermal. I get a hotspot out here.
Okay.
So I start looking at it and then I'm going back to the pond and I'm looking at it and I'm working on the focus and all this kind of stuff. And I finally figure out it's about 2 or 3 deer off at like 2 or 3 o'clock. And then I go back to the pond and I'm back to the deer. And then all of a sudden it just clicks in my brain like, oh, I haven't looked behind me like at 9 o'clock. I swing around at 9 o'clock and I see the back of something. So we've all heard about the spider crawl, right? I see the back of something, and I didn't include this. This is in one of our episodes. I believe it's season 2 called The Watchers Among the Trees. You can see us on YouTube at Bigfoots of America. But you can see this image. I don't show the back of it crawling, but it goes behind the bush that we later, and that's part of the reason we hollowed out that bush, is because it goes behind this bush, and at first I'm like, well, that could be a deer. But then it comes out the other side, and it's walking towards me. It takes about 2 or 3 steps towards me, and all of a sudden it spins around and goes back. And I'm like, why did he leave? Why did he leave? Well, like an idiot, I had left my headlamp on. So my headlamp, which was pointed away, looking at the deer, looking at the pond, looking at the deer, I spun around. The next morning, we measured that to be between 8 and 9 feet. And when you see the video, even though it's not totally focused yet, you can see it's a bipedal creature that comes out, takes a couple of steps, and then quickly goes back behind the bush because it could see my headlamp. So to this day, I'm kicking myself. And this has been a process, guys, because I've really only been doing this 2-3 years. I'm in my 3rd year now. I've spent 32 years in Ford Motor Company in a plant with steel and concrete. So I'm actually kind of new to the woods. I'm new to this whole hunting thing, this whole outdoor world. So yeah, like an idiot, I left my headlamp on and I'm learning as I go. And so I believe that was that Sasquatch that had come around and then saw me. And that is the same location where we heard the samurai chatter. So the thermal was 2 years ago, and then the samurai chatter was this past summer. And all after the samurai chatter was about 11 p.m., but the thermal of this Sasquatch was around, I believe, 4 a.m.
What is your best line? You know, you talk to a stranger, they're skeptical, and they go, well, sell me on their existence. What do you say?
Oh, I usually start off with, okay, first of all, regardless of what you think, they're real. And I start with that because the days of okay, a lot of people at home might not agree with this, but the days of thinking that Bigfoot is just a Gigantopithecus are over. Those are done. If you're still thinking that Bigfoot's a Gigantopithecus, you're behind the times. I get it. We all grew up with the Patterson Gimlin film. I get it. That's what I saw. That's what initially shocked me into what? Hey, there's a monster in the woods? And then it went away from me. And then I have the ferry sighting. Then the Cass River sightings happens down the street. And I start investigating. And a couple of there were a couple of key individuals that got a hold of me like, hey, man, I grew up, a guy by the name of Dennis Dean. Shout out to Dennis. He started giving me some history of the thumb. And there are amazing stories here in the thumb alone, let alone the rest of Michigan. And so now with all the evidence, you know, when I walk out, and if you go on our show, you can see the footprints. I just released a video called Forest People Footprints. And I've got my bare foot next to an NBA player size foot. I'm in the middle of nowhere, Doug. Yeah, I'm along the Black River, but nobody knew I was going to that spot at that time. Nobody's walking out in the river. And when you find these footprints, they're usually sunken in. In this particular location where I found multiple footprints, when I take my shoes inside, I can't stand up. It's on a decline or an incline. It's hard clay. I can't make a dent and I can't stand up. And you've got these huge footprints or sunken in footprints anywhere from 1 inch to 2 inches. So it's amazing. So when I say, hey, look, we think it could be, for me, I'm sold out with the information that I show on our show, that's real information. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But to my knowledge, I'm sold out that all of our evidence is real. So, yeah, when I approach somebody, I say, hey, I mean this in a polite way, but regardless of what you think, they're real. And part of that is because I've got 2 boys. I've got 2 sons. My youngest son is, you know, he's always been a daddy's boy, just kind of like my best friend, always been right there by my side. And, you know, if I said the sun was purple, he'd believe me. But my oldest son is like, hey, Dad, look, Bigfoot aren't real. I get it. You're getting older. You're getting close to retirement. You just want something to do. It's fun, you know, because he's out there quadding all the time in the woods. I ain't never seen one. I have hunters contact me probably once a month going, I've been out in the woods 40 years now. I ain't never seen one. And then I go, oh, you mean you sat in the same place on the edge of a cornfield in your, you know, tree stand and you've never seen one? Well, I can tell you where to go if you want to see one. I can tell you where to go if you want to hear one. So.
Yeah. Jeff, do you have any interesting directions you want to steer us?
Sorry, guys. It's been a lot.
Well, this is a little bit of a divergence, but I just read an article today that was really interesting. And it theorized, you know, talking about Ice Age. In the Ice Age, every mammal was megafauna, huge, massive, oversized. Mm-hmm. Why on earth wouldn't humans also be the same?
Sure.
You know what I mean? It's a pretty, and I never really thought about it that way.
I hadn't either.
But that's a really interesting observation, and it makes total sense. I mean, why wouldn't humans or hominids be massive?
Everything else was deer, buffalo.
Everything was
bears,
huge. You know, I mean, probably related to Bergman's law, whatever. But I agree with Bryan that, you know, I was for a long time a proponent of the Gigantopithecus theory, and in the last few months, I've really abandoned that theory. I think that I just don't think that's a likely explanation anymore. I don't think it's the most likely explanation. It could still be. Who knows? But
there might be, yeah. I mean, there could be every variant in between.
Yeah.
It's like dogs and cats. So yes, there could be some that are more Gigantopithecus-like. But yeah, sorry, didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, that's okay. And then the other thing that people forget is this could be more than one phenomenon. I mean, I personally am more interested in the biological phenomenon, but who's to say the biological phenomenon and the woo phenomenon aren't two completely maybe related, maybe not, maybe they're just different.
Might be real, and they both
who knows?
Very real.
I mean, it could be 3 or 4 different things going on. It could be Denisovans and Gigantopithecus and woo. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I think it's all together.
Yeah, but I've really I was really into the Gigantopithecus theory, and that's less compelling for me now.
What was the reason for the megafauna? You know, why did sloths grow 30 feet high? What was
My guess is isn't that just pretty much Bergman's law?
No,
Just it was
Bergman's
cold.
law. No, Bergman's law is the further you go north, the more body mass that an animal has to have to survive the cold.
Sure, same thing. Ice Age's temperatures were colder.
Oh, is that where you're going?
Yeah.
Well, that's
the
too
younger dryas.
That's too mundane, Jeff.
Well, that's a
We
pretty.
just think
it's
the
a pre-
temperatures.
It's a pretty elegant explanation.
Yeah,
I mean,
well,
that's the whole reason for
But I
the
thought it was
Bergman's law is that
But I thought it was hotter back then.
not during the Ice Age.
Well,
That's
not
the whole
the
point.
Ice Age.
Well, that's what I'm talking about is the Ice Age. That's kind of what I was talking about. That's
what
when
was-
this megafauna kind of came to be. It was during the Ice Age.
Oh, it
Too
was
cold for
during-
dinosaurs, so we had big
Oh.
mammals take over because
Guess
they're
I
warm
hadn't
blooded.
really thought about it.
Yeah, I thought maybe the younger dryas along those lines, Jeff. I thought maybe the younger dryas event maybe changed the level of oxygen because to me,
Sure.
it's the oxygen levels, you know.
Yeah.
Maybe back then there was more dense oxygen, and so creatures got bigger,
Sure.
more durable, you know. And
Yeah.
some have held on to those qualities.
Yeah, that totally makes sense. That's it's a very plausible explanation. Makes sense to me.
Who knows?
Who knows? But the big takeaway is it's most likely more than one phenomenon.
Yeah.
Trying to box this all into one simple solution, you're going to go nuts because I don't think there is one.
Right.
There's at least two, at least, maybe more.
Yeah, I tripped along the last few days of the whole mythology story of Medusa. And I'm watching Stranger Things, you know, the other night. I'm binging on Stranger Things, and one of the creatures in the show Stranger Things is called a Demogorgon.
Demogorgon, yeah.
Yeah, well, Gorgon that's what Medusa was. She was a type of Gorgon species, you know? And it's like, I love it when they do their TV shows and they really dig deep on some of the historical aspects of it, you know, the connections there. So I'm just like, there are so many different types of creatures out there. And that was part of my thing I wanted to tell my sons is like, look, to my oldest son, you don't have to believe in Bigfoot. I'm not asking you to. I just want you to know that when you go out in the woods, they could be out there. You might see one. And then your whole paradigm isn't shattered because many people, their lives have been shaken by their encounters, traumatized, all of that. Just very heavy psychological, emotional distress
No question.
after it. Yeah. So
No
I
question.
want them, you don't have to believe in it. Just be aware that look, I'm telling you, I saw a fairy. Some of these creatures still exist and they're around. And for me, I think their population numbers, especially here in Michigan, are rebounding dramatically.
Do you think that is because of the huge deer herds, the huge amount of food, turkeys, there's an explosion in wildlife? God, you're way younger than I am, Brian, but when I was a kid, we never saw deer. There were no turkeys. There were no pheasants. There were no eagles, no hawks. There was nothing. I mean, the woods were devoid of everything. Even the songbirds were gone.
Yeah,
And
without a doubt.
And now it's like I live in a complete opposite world. I really appreciate when I see eagles every day. And
Amen.
because there was nothing. I mean, because we've cleaned up so much of the environment since then. People think, oh, everything's getting worse. Well, no, it's getting better and better. Take it from an old man.
When I was a kid, we had to go to the Detroit Zoo to the planetarium to see the one bald eagle they had because it had injured its wing and it couldn't fly anymore. Now, not too long ago, I walked up on one on the Black River here. It couldn't hear me because of the all the sound of the current, and I walk right up. It's like 15 feet from me. It looks at me and then flies away.
Yeah.
I just saw him the other day on the ground eating a roadkill deer.
Yeah.
Boy, when you see one on the ground, it's a big bird, man. Holy smokes, it's a big bird.
There was one up on top of my garage last spring, and it was just staring at me. And I'm like, are you going to try to attack me? What's the deal? But the thing is, they're everywhere. I see ospreys on my lake all the time now.
Yes.
Wild turkey flocks everywhere. It's foxes. We have coyotes. I mean, there were no coyotes. We have wolves now coming within like 20 miles of my home now. Packs of wolves living. And so I've got bear tracks on my beach right here in the suburbs. And
there's for sure bobcat around here too.
Oh, yeah, there's bobcats. Cougars are back.
Yeah, we had a sighting. Yeah.
You got tons of cougars in Michigan. I had my first cougar sighting in, I hate to say this, it was about 1989 near Escanaba. If you know that. Yeah. I was just driving and it was just feeding on some deer kill in the road. And it just stopped and kind of froze in the headlights. I got a good look at it, and it was definitely a cougar.
Yeah. My buddy saw a cougar run right across the road chasing a deer about a half an hour from Sandusky here. So, and two, the problem here in Michigan, we get a little bit upset because we don't get all the information. They're holding
I don't know why they're holding all that back. Literally, you can go to my zoo here at the Como Zoo. They have a sign in front of the pen where they have the cougars, and it says the last cougar in Minnesota was shot in 18 blah blah whatever. And I'm thinking, what a bullshit sign. Pardon my French, because I've had 2 sightings right here.
Does the DNR still maintain that they don't exist here? Are they still hanging on to that?
Yeah, big time.
There's
I've
lots of
interviewed
sightings.
officials, and they're just like, no, they're escape pets. Like, okay, yeah.
No, I don't think so.
So it's but the point is you were talking about Bigfoot populations have gotten bigger, and of course that makes sense because there's so much more food. I don't think they eat pine bark, right? I know they have to eat meat to survive the winter.
Right. They've got to eat meat. They mainly survive off on the deer here, but I do have an account. We call it the Pine Tree Bigfoot, where a gal was jogging in the wintertime, and there was one at a pine tree picking the needles or the bark or something. So, yeah. Yep, you never know.
Yeah. What do you think they eat? I mean, let's go ahead and talk about their diet. What are your, what do you think they're going to eat? Let's start with May. So May 1st, your weather is about the same as here in Minnesota. What are they eating? What do you think they're eating? What do you think they're going after?
They're heading for the fish. Like I said, that Monroe Monster sighting was a really kind of a revelation that they are so sick of living off of deer through the winter.
So
they're heading.
Yeah.
Yes, they're heading for the fish. They're heading for the shorelines. They're mainly the shorelines of these Great Lakes. And like you said, they're here in Michigan. The ancestral aspect of people handing down the technique of hunting to their children is less and less because of technology. More kids are staying in the house. They're not getting out. So our deer population here in Michigan has gone through. There are herds, Doug. When you drive by my house, you have to be careful because if one deer crosses, you figure you might have a whole herd crossing. So back to that. Come May, they're sick of the deer population and they're heading for the fish. But they also feed off of beavers. I have that account of Danny Skinner, who's, he's a backwoods guy. This guy lives off the land. And he was coming up to check on his beaver traps, and there was a Sasquatch tearing apart the beaver dam to get to the beaver. And then when it saw him, it turned and moved away. So small game. But they love the fish. I would say that is their delicacy here. And but their main food source is the deer. But let's continue.
Okay. By the way, there was a very intelligent comment from Squatch Mama. And so here's what I'm trying to get at. You could have gone anywhere. You could have done aerial surveys. There were no deer. There were no turkeys. There were no raptors. There were no grouse, no pheasants. They did not exist. Suburbs had nothing to do with it. It was just all of the DDTs that they were putting in our environment and some really bad poisons on agriculture, and all hunting was pretty much non-regulated. For instance, black bears were almost extinct until they gave them a big game status and regulated the hunting. A friend of mine was one of the people that got that law through. And bear populations have exploded since. Before that, people would just shoot them every all year, anytime. The same with wolves and blah, blah, blah. And so as the laws got in place, the poisons got cleaned up, like the DDTs really helped all of the raptors, songbirds. I never saw a red cardinal until, I was like 58 years old, because they didn't exist here in Minnesota.
Wow.
They just weren't here. Now we have everything. Everything's back. So really the suburbs, as long as they leave green belts and stuff, the animals can do quite well. But the main thing is all the poisons and all the just crazy shooting of everything, right?
Yep.
That really wipes out. So, I'm just saying, from back in the 70s to today, it's like there's no comparison. It would have made headlines in the paper, Brian, if someone spotted a deer in Minnesota in the 70s.
Wow.
It made headlines.
Wow.
Because there was nothing. So anyhow, but all right. So what about like cattails and cattail roots?
Yes.
In the spring.
Most definitely.
Big starchy potatoes. Obviously berries in the summer, no doubt. They feast on blueberries and raspberries when they come.
Without a doubt. Yeah, that's my location, my private landowner. It was a former farmstead with all sorts of berry and nut trees and multiple apple trees. And then you throw in that spring-fed pond. I call it the Garden of Eden now because of its location and how the Sasquatch handle it. But yes, without a doubt. And then another delicacy that they go nuts over, and what caused the initial sighting of the landowner was they were farming meat rabbits. And so they'd farm them, and then they'd throw their pelts and inners out into this big pile. And then that's when the Bigfoot, they ate that whole pile. And then just started, the landowner's like, why do we have Bigfoot standing around? And you realize they love them rabbit pellets and innards. And then, so you got to be careful with gifting them too much, though, because you start having trouble.
Yeah, we just talked about that with a guest about how gifting can be a bad idea, especially gifting food.
Yeah.
Okay, so we've agreed to eat meat and all this stuff. Do you think they do? They hunt birds much, like even wild turkeys? Would they? And then wild boars have become quite prevalent south of us.
Southern U.S.
I don't know if you have in Michigan yet, but you're gonna. It's coming.
Wow.
They're working their way north through the Midwest for sure.
They're coming. And from south. They're also in Canada coming south.
Oh, I didn't know that. But
Wow.
We have huge flocks of turkeys here. So yes, you can throw that into the mix. And then if you want to talk about all the farms around here and chickens, all right? The most prominent account, and I actually was just there the other day and found a footprint not far from this location. It's along the Cass River. There's an old story. So we're going back to the 70s now. But I went and visited this farm 2 weeks ago, and they still have the camper out back. So the patriarch of the family is a truck driver. He's away. The wife is there. I think 2 kids are there. And they start hearing a big commotion outside. Well, there's a camper that they have converted to a chicken pen. Okay. And they have tied or chained up an Alaskan Malamute to that camper in order to keep the coyotes away. Well, this is our huge story of what we call the Bigfoot Mafia here in Michigan, in the thumb of Michigan. So the truck drivers are away. Alaskan Malamute starts making all this noise. The mom and the kids are looking out the window, and all these Sasquatch move in. A clan of Sasquatch, and they circle around this camper where all the chickens are in. Now, they had converted this camper. They had boarded up the human entrance and made kind of a hatch underneath the camper so the chickens could come and go. Well, the mom and the kids are looking out the window. And all of a sudden, there's Sasquatch there with red eyes, guys. So these are the self-illuminating red eyes. And they're looking, and so the mom and the kids are hiding, and these Sasquatch ended up killing that Malamute, dismembering it. The story I heard from a guy very close to the source said they even de-skinned that Alaskan Malamute. And then, whether they sent one of the smaller Sasquatch up into that, but they cleaned out that whole chicken coop, that camper that had been converted into a chicken coop. They cleaned that sucker out. And that's the most prominent story about them going after chickens. I've got other stories where they've come in maybe, and some of them are very sly. And I said this before on Small Town Monsters. I got a guy who had told me that, came in, but only took one chicken and then moved off. And they do that too. They manage their herds. They, Matthew Sexton, he believes they'll be in one area, and to not exhaust that food supply, they'll rotate into another area.
So the eye glow is a very fascinating topic. It just smacks of paranormal, because if you go far back, demons and this and all these different weird creatures, so many of them had red glowing eyes, and it just smacks of paranormal, that aspect of it.
Yes.
And I don't know, do you have thoughts on the eye glow, the actual, and how bright are these eyes? Are they like a taillight on a car?
Yeah, and that's part of the reason I'm doing this show, Doug, is because no man's an island. One person can't get all the information. I try to form a kind of a receiving type Bigfoot community here in Michigan, where I'm like, hey, I'm not here to take your information. I'm here to spread your name out. I always try to use people's names. Well, there's a married couple by the name of Kim and John, and they used to be part of the BFRO. One of their accounts here in Michigan, it would be in the upper portion of the lower peninsula, kind of in the central area. They witnessed 2 or 3 Sasquatch with self-illuminating eyes. They were of the yellow color, and they said it was as if the Sasquatch had flashlights coming out of their eyes. Okay. And they said, yes, the yellow color. And then they had also seen like different moods of the Sasquatch. If the Sasquatch were passive, it'd be yellow. If the Sasquatch seemed more irritated, it may turn orange. But then if they're heightened and they're highly aggressive, their eyes are red. And yes, so there's a self-illuminating story. And I've heard multiple stories, but yeah, that one is most prominent.
Have you heard?
They were almost like flashlights.
I've heard glowing green too from numerous people.
Ooh, I have not heard that one.
Yeah, fluorescent green, just blasting. I've heard, orange, yellow, glowing green, and of course, red's the most prominent color.
Yes, yes.
You think? And then some people say, well, it's the mood they're in. I'm like, okay, whatever. I don't know.
Yeah. So then, yes, you throw in the paranormal, interdimensional, possible alien connection, maybe. I've heard stories that they were dropped off on planet Earth to do the mining. Those are the far out stories. But for me, it's like, hey, wait a minute. We're starting to realize that dragons were real, and that they did have components in their biological bodies where 2 things mixed and they could shoot out that that fire. Well, yes. And then we have the bioluminescent. We heard you guys talking about it. We see that in fish. We see that in other creatures. So why not have some of these capabilities, just maybe be more the ancient type capabilities that we have lost track of in our modern society,
Yeah.
It's interesting because something else that I think about a lot is almost everything we talk about, whether it's Bigfoot, fairies, dogman. Up 300 years ago, most people just accepted that stuff as fact. And the biggest mistake we make is thinking that people in the past were dumb. They weren't dumb. They they had less technology, they had less access to some education, but they weren't dumb. Human beings have been this smart for a really long time. Human beings were smart 1,000 years ago. Human beings were smart 2,000 years ago. So I think it's really foolish to just dismiss all of this old knowledge, because people have been smart for a long time. They weren't
That's
dumb.
it. Totally agree.
Let's see. Northwest Native Tracker said yellow eye shine is not a Bigfoot property. All cryptids have different eye shine color. Interesting.
Yeah.
I hadn't heard that yet.
Yeah, that is interesting.
I have, like I said, I think I've seen the red eye shine up in Canada. And then last time we were up there, like 4 of the guys, everybody saw these red little balls like zipping by the window. I don't know if they were seeing eye shine or red orbs. So what about the orb connection, which so many people talk about, and there must be something to it, or they wouldn't have that many people constantly. I mean, everything's got a little basis in truth, right? I mean,
Right.
These stories just don't come out of thin air.
Right.
What have you experienced anything with orbs at all, Brian?
Yeah, the one Sasquatch client, and I always try to, depend on if I haven't had, nobody can have all the experiences themselves, but the landowners have experienced the orbs before the Bigfoot come in. The orbs will set off their game cameras, and then they'll find activity, whether it's footprints or some kind of, messing with the livestock. They found their horse having its mane braided, footprints all in the horse's pen. Believe some of their chickens were taken.
So what do you,
coming in-
okay. My favorite line with you is let's back the truck up, because you say these amazing things that I'm like, yeah, let's talk about that for a minute. The braiding, it's like so weird. And I know it's real. I've seen huge collections of this. What do you think's going on?
Oh, yeah. So, you and I had talked about maybe the possible autistic connection to Sasquatch.
Right.
Tearing up the deck of cards we talked about on the NCI show. That's the same idea, because I've got my landowners here, and then I was in Kalamazoo, Michigan, not too long ago, interviewing an eyewitness. All the horses were braided on there, and then they even had the dog. That's a whole nother thing, the whole dogman story in Michigan. But yeah, I believe it's along that line. These things are highly intelligent, and like you said, that's going to take time to sit there and tear up all those cards. The Kalamazoo account. Brenda Goodwin is her name. Oh, intricately, woven. It's not like, it was just kind of over something the wind could have done, or the other horse rubbing up against it. No, that's braiding, and that'll be in one of our episodes coming up in season 3. But that's it.
Oh, it's complicated, the braiding. I just wonder why they're doing it. Is it because maybe they're autistic, or they have those autistic traits? Maybe that's why they do it. What else are they going to braid, right? I mean, there's not many things in the forest you can braid.
Here's what I got to say. This is funny, but my sons are grown. I used to spend nothing but going to work, coming home to my sons, going to work, coming home to my sons. Now that I've got all this time on my hands, I'm doing all this Bigfoot stuff. What if you're walking around, you don't have a job, you're living off the land, so to speak. You're looking for something to do. Maybe it's the children, Bigfoot. Maybe it's them letting know, like Brenda Goodwin, hey, we're here right now, and these are the signs. Because what I've heard so many times is they'll show themselves, but they will hide their face. Yeah. What have they done to me? I've got collections of these Y sticks that I'll find stuck in the ground outside my tent. I'll walk down a path. I'll come back a few minutes later on that same path, and it'll be stuck in the middle of the path.
Yeah.
Okay. All the footprints I found, one footprint, blew my mind. I found the footprint, and then a buddy of mine, George Lunsford from the NCI team, was like, hey, man, you should go back and cast that one. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? You're right. I'll go back and cast that one. I usually don't cast. I don't like lugging all that crap. I'll go back and cast this one. I'm back, Doug, within 36 hours, and it's gone. And it's not gone like somebody had covered it up, and, there's a little mound there, and you can see the disturbance. No, it was gone. Like it never existed. I got to pull that picture up. I got to show you. It was 1.5 inches into the ground. I believe it was specifically left for me as a gift. And then once I left, they covered it up. And this is the crazy side of things. How could you cover it up and make it look like it had never existed in the first place? I had to look at all my photos and trace a couple of pre-existing rocks and then make a straight line down to it. Now, this is the footprint right there. Beautiful. You got the mid-tarsal break there. Like I said, 1.5 to 2 inches on the heel, then up to 1 inch into the ground. You can see the prominent toes, and then there was also a second footprint along with it. I usually only show one footprint. That's just my thing, so people don't steal it or whatever. But so that footprint, I come back with within 36 hours, and it's gone like it never existed. And that is one of the things lately that has absolutely blown my mind. And yeah, so my goodness,
interesting. So we were talking about braiding. I'm not sure if we're ready to move on.
Yeah.
Native Tracker says it's a form of reverence to the horse.
Interesting.
Well, when you think about it, too, something with a big brain, and that big brain is not encumbered by. Think of how many people you know that their entire life revolves around just watching entertainment. That's their whole life. Their entire brain is composed of their job, which is, in the grand scheme of things, might not be that important.
Which is why our audience watches infotainment.
Right, exactly. That's kind of all I watch. All I watch is YouTube. I watch so little fiction. I watch very little fiction.
What Jeff is trying to say is Untold Radio is very healthy for your brain.
It is, but I mean, if you have a big brain, your brain isn't encumbered by all this nonsense that we're kind of encumbered with. You're going to come up with, you're going to have big ideas and do strange things, and you have the brain space to memorize what a row of knots in a braid would be, or you have the brain space to memorize, hey, that little camera on that tree, that wasn't there yesterday. Right. You know what I mean? You have a lot more space in your brain for stuff that we're not going to think of, and there's just a huge tendency to play, and we do this in culture too, just to put our values and our way of looking at things on another culture. You can't do that. It's just fundamentally wrong.
Well, I do know that when Christopher Noel came up with the concept of them being autistic and some of the autistic traits, it just started connecting instantly a bunch of dots.
Yes,
from experiences
absolutely.
I had. It explained so many things that I had witnessed, including like opening and closing a bin on the porch over and over and over and over and over, and leaving and coming back and doing it again. And you know what I mean? Things like that. The hiding, right? Autistic children love to hide. They like to organize things. It's stick structures. Why sticks? It's an organizing. It makes it look, it gives it a symmetry. So there's so many qualities, I can't even think of them all, but it's worth thinking about. And obviously he doesn't know for sure, but the other thing that's interesting is the nonverbal communication that they have pretty close to proven with autistic kids that are nonverbal. The amazing telepathic things that they do. And the fact that so many of these kids, these nonverbal kids, told this researcher that they all meet, like they meet at this place and they all have the same name for it, where they meet, with their minds. So that kind of plays into, the telepathy aspect of Bigfoots.
Yeah.
Maybe autism is a survival thing that we've lost.
Well, it kind of relates. Go ahead.
Just one last thought, Jeff. But it also, autistic kids can remember things so much. So many of them have such an amazing memory. That savant type brain, where they can take a flash photo and just look at a picture like the city of New York and then go and redraw it all.
Wow.
Yeah,
The
I've
whole
seen
thing.
that.
The whole thing, like every window's perfect, and they only
Yeah,
get
that's
to look at it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. I know that artist. I've seen that artist, and again, it kind of relates to what I'm talking to. Those they're not wasting people like that.
Right.
They don't spend 8 hours every Sunday watching football. That is there's you know what I mean. Think about that. If you removed your favorite sports, and I'm not a sports person either, but how much of your time and brain effort is taken up by that? Well, they're free of that.
Right.
They're free of a lot of nonsense.
They call it the Hill. All these kids are saying they meet at the Hill. And there's this documentary coming out, and there's a bunch of podcasts. And I don't know why. It's just, my mind is drawing a blank. And she's agreed, the producer of this and the researcher of this has agreed to come on Untold. We just don't have a date yet. So
I'll look it up. Somebody in the audience might remember.
But anyhow, the Hill. And so it's just interesting if you believe maybe Bigfoots have autistic behaviors and their
Telepathy tapes, Kai Dickens.
Yeah, telepathy tapes. I don't know what. Yeah, Kai.
And what was the, you said it was reverence? Because I always, and I don't know. I always took it as, okay, are they letting the people know that they're there? Leaving footprints, braiding the hair. But you said it was reverence for the horse?
Well, that's what Northwest Tracker had mentioned.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah, it wasn't me.
No, that's very compelling, because then that's ancient Native American, traits, right?
Yeah. No, it's just, like autistic kids so many times will love to organize their Hot Wheels or their blocks. They just have these very unique qualities. In many ways, autistic kids, like, they're brilliant compared to, I've got an autistic nephew that is like a software designer. He's already talking about, he's only 4 years old. He's talking about being a producer and a director already. He loves to watch the credits. He's 4 years old. He memorizes them all. And so this is not, this is like different qualities. What they lack maybe in one quality, they make up for in tremendous ways with other qualities. Right. And so maybe Bigfoots are kind of like that. Have you, thought about the autistic thing that Christopher Noel? I mean, do you agree with it, or do you think, damn, whatever?
Oh, I think it's very possible. Yours was the first time I had heard that theory, but maybe it's a certain breed of Sasquatch. Maybe it's a certain type. So I definitely don't deny it. Or they grow, maybe it's a level of their maturity that they go through. Mm-hmm. It's strange because you hear stuff like that. You hear the more Gigantopithecus stuff, and then you hear the, oh my gosh, the Naboo stories where they're communicating and wanting to tell you their story. So I don't doubt it whatsoever. And it makes sense.
Yeah.
Fascinating. Okay. What have we not covered, Brian?
Well,
we've covered a lot of ground. What have I not brought up?
Dogman is the big question. Yeah, that's the big question we're going through right now. There's a guy by the name of Joe Barger out there right now. He's been on the Confessionals, Small Town Monsters. I kind of trace back his footsteps. The first we have a wonderful book here called The Michigan Dogman. Going back for the first documented case in 1887. That is on the rise. Just 2 years ago, down the road from me, a church actually I was attending for about a year. Guy was cutting the lawn. Broad daylight, guys. He's cutting the lawn, cutting the rows up and down, and he looks up, and there's a dog man standing there. The question is did this guy get scared and look away and it was gone, or did it disappear in front of his eyes? Now, regardless of what the eyewitness says, I found a correlation to just down the street. And here's another thing. There's an ancient Indian burial ground not too far from that spot, and that's where there's been multiple sightings of Bigfoot. A guy by the name of Aaron Spencer. Then the chicken coop is just north of that. So there's always a correlation with sightings or history of sightings in the area. I don't think you just walk out into the woods and you find Dogman or you find Bigfoot. There are certain areas where these things roam. And that is the concern here in Michigan is Dogman is on the rise. Its population numbers are on the rise because here in Michigan, we don't necessarily consider Dogman to be a friend like we do Bigfoot or Sasquatch.
Right.
We consider it to be a little bit more nefarious. I do have a couple of nice encounters. This Kalamazoo, what I call the Michigan Skinwalker Ranch, they've had a Dogman sighting there, and then maybe even a little Dogman or a little person sighting on that ranch as well. But yeah, that's the concern about Dogman. And then just south of me, we had another sighting of it. So Dogman is the concern. What are they? Are they experiments? Are they along the line of, just a Bigfoot, an ancient cryptid creature? We don't know, my brother. And that's, hopefully I'm going to dig into that a little bit more in 2026.
Where is your fear level when it comes to either creature? Are you like
I'm
me?
stupid.
Are you
I'm
like,
stupid.
see, I'm scared to, I'll go and I'll do these things, but I'll be honest, I get scared. I mean, it's frightening deep down deep. I go up to Snell and I'm like, every time I go up there, I'm like, okay, am I going to get killed? You think about those things. And then when there's activity outside the cabin, it's scary.
I label myself as stupid. Like the fairy sighting, I'm like, I can see it, right?
I wouldn't have said that. I wouldn't have said that.
When I was younger, I was, I do acting as a hobby now, but I was involved in the music business, and I had what I would call the deal with the devil experience, where a portal door opened up in my living room, and the devil walked in and wanted to make a deal with me. I was heavily involved. I had one of Phil Collins' producers as my producer. I was writing a song for Bobby Brown and Billy Ray Cyrus at the time. And then I had that encounter in my living room, a portal door opening up, this creature walking in like a Medusa type creature on fire, just a crazy sight, and offering me a record contract. I was done with the music business at that time. And then it seems like I've kind of walked this journey I'm walking, the fairy sighting, the Bigfoot sighting. When I've had my encounters with the Sasquatch, yes, your natural reaction is to tense up. When I've heard them speak, when I've heard them howl, the samurai chatter didn't affect me. I'm like, oh, there's samurai chatter. But no, when I first heard that Bigfoot speak, because I knew the history of the clan I was dealing with, and I felt I was surrounded at the time.
But Brian,
go ahead.
Back the damn truck up again.
I'm sorry, guys.
Okay, you just got done telling us the Bob Dylan story, basically.
Oh yeah, it's real, guys. It's real.
And he talks about it like it's real. Okay, you just can't say stuff like that and then just move on to a new topic with me. And I hate to interrupt because I know people criticize me for it, but I'm like, let's go back a little bit. All right. So I want to know details now. And,
okay.
All right. So you see this portal open up, right?
Yeah. So I'm about 8. Well, it started, the whole music business thing started at the age of 18. That. And then I progressed. I met the Four Tops. I had Aretha Franklin's engineer. I'm getting ready to sign with a new record label parented by RCA out of New York, dealing with producers from New York. Had Phil Collins' producer, Tom Washington. He produced all the horns for Earth, Wind, and Fire. He had brought actually Philip Bailey and Phil Collins together on Easy Lover. He had produced Susu Studio for Phil Collins. So I'm in it deep, right, guys? I moved to my mother's house. Same type of deal with the fairy thing, though I would label this particular encounter more of a vision type. When you start to fall asleep, you're in that land between awake and sleep. Well, that's when everything happened. So here comes the detail, guys. I'm laying on the couch thinking about everything I'm doing because I'm rocking it at this time. I'm really making progress, getting ready to sign a record deal. I'm laying on my couch and I'm thinking, and I got my eyes closed, and I just the moment I start to drift off, what I would call my spirit or my soul separated from my physical body. I'm looking up at the ceilings, and then I turn to the right. Okay.
Okay. So you feel your body get heavy. You start kind of floating up. Visually you can see you're closer to the ceiling, right? Visually.
I'm still in my body though, but my spirit turns, and I'm beholding two things at one time. I'm beholding the ceiling. Okay. The stucco ceiling.
Does it seem closer?
Yeah, you could say that.
Okay.
And then I turn to my right, and literally a square doorway opens up, and in walks the scariest thing I've ever seen in my life. And its face was blurred because I think if I may have seen its face, I would have had a heart attack or something. But it moved in a different sort of way than we move here on planet Earth. We're confined by gravity. This was definitely an interdimensional being, whether you want to call it the devil, whatever you want to call it. And it kind of moved over to me, and it put an envelope on my hands. And then here's the scary part, guys. I can still feel this to this day whenever I put my finger right there. It put the envelope on my hands, and then it leaned down and kissed me right then and right there. I take the envelope, I open it up. It's a record deal, signed on the dotted line. Now, that's what I've been working for the past, 3-4 years. I was heavily involved in the music industry, going nonstop. And then I open it, I'm like, oh yeah, record deal. Yeah, that's what I'm going to sign, blah, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden, the cliche bright light comes in. So I'm beholding two things. I'm beholding the scariest creature I've ever seen in my life, and I'm looking up at the ceiling, and in comes this bright, bright white light. That creature kissed me envelope on the hands, kisses me on the forehead, looks up at this empowering bright light coming in, freaks out, goes, oh, kind of like the fairy, and runs back into the portal door, and it slams behind him. And this bright light's coming in and covering me. And suddenly I realized, oh my gosh, this is a cliche deal with the devil. And boom, I come out of the vision. So as a Christian, I grew up in a Baptist church and all that kind of stuff. As a Christian, my mind logically portrayed this as the deal with the devil. So I hit the living room floor and I prayed and I said, hey, God, no matter what I think I know, if this was the deal with the devil, I don't want it. And so I quit that day. I quit that day and never went back, started going to church full time and singing in the choir. There's the story, guys.
Yeah, okay. I had to ask.
That's amazing.
It's so, I always say this, everybody has to make up their own mind what they want to believe and what they don't want to believe. Right. That is the joy of being a human. You have a free will to choose what you want to believe in. For me, all these encounters in my life, I believe they happened. I even met with a neurological doctor, and he just kind of said, well, because you grew up in the Christian church, I'm sure your mind just formulated that encounter, and it was just kind of a made-up theatrical scene in your brain. And for me, when I touched my forehead, that transcended the interdimensional into my biological physical feeling right there.
Yeah.
So yeah, everybody at home, you got to decide what you want to believe. You want to believe in Bigfoot? You don't want to? That's up to you. You want to believe in the deal with the devil or not believe in the deal with the devil? That's up to you. That's your choice. But these are just some of the encounters I've had in my life, and they've blown my mind. But also, kind of helped me realize, okay, you can't board that crazy train. You got to put that in a box and come back to it every so often. And then when you're on the Doug Hajicek show, the Untold Radio Network, then you can share all these weird
I
stories.
mean, yes, I still am very much a flesh and blood, but I am open to anything because I don't have one in my basement.
Yep.
I'm still into the DNA and the forensics. It's never going to end because that's all I can really put under a microscope, but I'm not going to shut out all these stories. I've had my share of weird crap. I've had my own share. And so that humbles you and you just go, okay, everybody's got their own stories.
Yeah.
And it's still data.
Yep. And when it comes to cryptids, I do want that biological evidence, though. I do want that picture I just showed you.
Yeah,
I want to have that because then that also helps in telling yourself, hey, I'm not going crazy. Here's a picture right here. Yeah, and I like it because I feel more educated with all the information. I feel more educated when I sit down with the eyewitnesses and I hear their stories because data is empowering. You get the truth in the data.
So true. So true. I would love to see some type of new, strong evidence appear. And that's kind of what I'm, striving towards with Legend Science too. Supposed to finally get some really solid results this month. So I'm not going to necessarily hold my breath, but I'm hoping this month is going to be kind of groundbreaking, that 2026 everything's going to finally come together.
Awesome.
I still think that a lot of this mystery can be put under the microscope. We do have hair. We do have scat. We do have fingerprints. We have DNA, wherever that originates, I don't know, but I guarantee it's going to be different.
Yep. And maybe these creatures are more biological than we think. They've learned that technique of bending the light around them so they look cloaked in our physical, finite eyes.
That's possible too. I mean, we just, I think about like an electric eel and I think, well, that can't exist. An animal that puts out that kind of voltage cannot exist.
Yep.
They do.
There's a lot of animals that make no sense at all.
No, they make no sense.
Yeah.
I was reading about a deep sea fish that the male detaches. It's like it detaches its penis and it swims over and it bites into the female and becomes like grows into her. And it's just like the grossest, strangest way to breed. But it's real. This is nature. It's so diversified.
I did have a relationship like that one time. Thank God that's over with.
I'm glad too.
Too many bruises.
I'm glad. But the whole point of all of this talk and exploring is, what does it hurt? It doesn't hurt anything.
Right.
It just doesn't. I've really felt that, I've had to, I've seen things I've got to kind of put away in a drawer. I shouldn't really have to,
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just telling you that, like you were talking about your fairy you saw. Well, I heard something. So did my dad, obviously. And we wouldn't have collided in the hallway, scared out of our minds.
Yeah.
Something happened.
I
didn't necessarily, even if we would have seen it, that wouldn't sound any less crazy to anybody,
Oh, without a doubt.
But you have a lot of courage, Bryan. So I'll give you that. You have a ton of courage just to say it out, just like, hey, if you want to think I'm crazy, I don't care.
Yeah, for me, it's letting my boys know. It's letting people know. Look, you don't have to believe me. You can think I'm crazy. I'm totally confident in myself being, but just be aware so your life isn't destroyed by some type of encounter that catches you off guard. I have a couple of eyewitnesses that are still emotionally distraught to this day. And I just thought to myself, okay, this can be a wonderful message to people to just be aware. Yes, we live in this ant farm by the three laws of thermodynamics, by gravity. We can only do so much. But if we can learn and then share that knowledge, it's really going to help people. You know, they're not going to be freaked out.
But Brian, we know nothing about even deer. They're learning new things. It's going to be endless, the discoveries with just deer. Just common deer, with rats, with all these animals. We know nothing about that. I would say probably maybe 1/100th of 1% of our natural world do we understand. It's not much.
The biggest obstacle is dogma. The biggest obstacle is a closed mind. People that think, let's move on. We got this figured out. Move on. We know everything we should know about deer. Move on.
Isn't that
that's insane.
That's kind of I don't know what kind of attitude. It's like
it's insane to me. It's just insane to think you have it figured out.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We don't. The surface stuff. Yeah, we know mushrooms multiply by spores, but there's so much more than that to mushrooms.
Yeah.
You know?
And if you get the right material too, if you educate yourself, like I pulled up this book. These are all dogman sightings just in the state of Michigan. You know, David Pilati's book, which was the one that catapulted me, was Bigfoot, Wild Men, and Giants. Yeah. What, are all those accounts fake? Are all those people crazy? No, you're sticking your head in the sand. Now, with that said, if you just want to go watch your football and everything, that's cool too. But I want to have a little bit more meaning in life. That's me.
I think what happens is we get a lot of that football crowd that pop into our world once in a while out of curiosity, and they don't really spend any time thinking. They've never had an experience. I don't blame them for being closed-minded, and they just pop into our crazy world, and we talk, and they jump in the middle of a conversation, and they're like, there's no such thing as Bigfoot, blah, blah, and they just like, you're an idiot, and anybody believes. And then they pop back to their own world of, whatever it is they like to do, just more normal things. And I don't blame them for feeling that way, because I'm sure you would, if we would have stayed in that world. I was in that world at one time until I came upon footprints up in the Arctic, and I went, that's real. Those are real footprints. Something really made those. And then it swaps out your paradigm, and then you start meeting, more people that actually have more knowledge than you, and you listen and you hear their arguments, and you start going, wow, I guess they could exist. And it's a slow thing. It doesn't happen very quickly. But people who their whole identity is focused on just the world being the exact way you see it.
Right.
And that's their whole identity. And they get very afraid to have any of those cracks, any of those things kind of crack a little bit, right? It's scary. Mm-hmm. And I know it is. It's scary to think there could be some monster out in my backyard right now standing there, because I know they're real and they could be in my backyard.
That's right.
And that's a freaky thing. That's freaky. Yep. Or, we've had, me and Yvette have seen things like we were on the deck sunny one day. And we had a black UFO, broad daylight, come up to the deck. She saw it first. She started screaming. And then, she said when she started screaming and pulled back, the thing did the same thing. It was scared too. It jumped back. And then I'm looking at her. Finally, I turn around and it's right by me. And it's just sitting there changing shape. Broad daylight, like Vanta black with skin on it. And it's like doing all these, I don't know, I can't even explain. It's changing shape. I go to grab my phone, and the moment I bring it up to film it, I get it, start recording, and it gone up to the clouds.
Wow.
And of course I did get footage, but it's up in the clouds. So now any normal guy was, it's just a balloon up there. Yeah. Okay. But we saw it zip there in, 1 second. But the world is crazy. But so now, do you think Yvette feels comfortable going outside at night? Hell no. It's changed her whole world. She's, suffering from PTSD from that because she's like, well, that was broad daylight. What goes on out there at night? Well, it's dark. We used to go out on the deck every night. No more. It just doesn't happen.
See, that's what hurts too. When it changes somebody's life that much to where you're not doing the things you would normally do, that's a bummer.
It is. And it didn't, it didn't affect me like that. But I'm telling you, I go take the garbage out and my head's on a swivel. I mean, I'm just like, I am so awake. Like I am so observant because I'm like, what the hell? What's out there? Because we don't know. We have no idea. There's Mothman and winged humanoids flying around, every kind of UFO orbs. And if you want to just say that stuff isn't real, well, that's great of it. Because I just figure, well, you're afraid.
Yeah. Yeah. I now believe when you dig into the Greek mythology and all of that, I really believe that a lot of those creatures may have been real now. The Cyclopses, the Minotaurs, whatever. I mean, like I said, I'm just doing a study now on Medusa. It is fascinating.
Yeah.
Those ideas came from somewhere. I mean, they had to come from somewhere.
Well, even Beowulf, Grendel and Beowulf, that is kind of a Bigfoot creature.
Yeah, totally.
Or Enkidu with Gilgamesh, that's a Bigfoot type creature.
Totally. Yeah, 100%.
Oh, and then I love this. Kenny goes, I'm constantly rebooting. That's what it's like when you see something. You have to reboot your entire system again.
Yep.
You have to go through a whole software update.
I'm writing that down. That was perfect.
That's a great analogy. That's kind of how I think. I mean, I'm always willing to change my mind based on new information. You just never know.
Good stuff.
I don't know. I hate it when, I feel guilty because I've seen something. I shouldn't feel guilty.
No, man.
Do you think on the day I wanted to just lay in the sun and get a tan? Do you think I wanted to see a weird, whether it's a creature or something made out of bolts and wire? Do I really want to see that? No, I don't.
Well, I know from talking to you, Doug, you were pretty content with your life before you saw that stuff.
Yes.
I mean, you were pretty content with life. You were doing pretty well and pretty happy with the situation you were in. And I don't think you asked for your life to be changed like that. No. You just did.
No. And so, and you didn't ask for that damn little whatever that was. You have to name it. So you named it a fairy.
See, that's the crazy side because, like I said before, I'm like, gee, I want to know its name now. Why doesn't it come back?
Yeah, and that's more fascinating to me than anything. Why did we see what we saw one day? And another day, me and Yvette were driving home from up north. It was a beautiful, clear day, Brian. And moon was full and shining. And we saw this shiny thing up in the sky near the moon. And then it dropped just straight down while we're looking at it and then stopped right above the highway. We could see it in the distance. It's quite large, like a spider dropping on a web and then stopping suddenly. And then it headed for my car. And it just kept coming closer and closer until it got right in front of the windshield. And Yvette ducked finally. She thought it was coming right through the windshield. And then I waited just an extra second or two. And then I ducked. And that's not something you do in a car while you're driving on a freeway. Because you could crash, kill everybody.
Yeah.
And I got a good look at it. She got a good look too. But mine was even weirder. I mean, because I could see its eyes and, it was like a flying humanoid.
Wow.
It really rattled her.
Yeah, it rattled her. So
it rattled her big time. Big time.
And I keep trying to talk her into, come on. She did. If anybody wants to hear her story, she got caught off guard and Cliff and Bobo talked her into doing it on their show. She told the story and it's in their member only area. But Yvette did finally tell her story. And that really shook us both up because you're like, well, why do we see it? was it trying to communicate with us? What the hell was it? I mean, its wings were wider than the freeway.
You know, that's crazy. I think so much for me, it seems like geographical locations. It almost seems like these things hide out. We've got pterodactyl sightings here, but mainly on the western side of the state along Lake Michigan.
Right.
I've never had a UFO encounter. I can't imagine what you went through.
It's like you talk about a reboot, man. We were just like in shock. And now, even in the day, she won't go beyond her, in the woods. Like even if it's on a freeway or a road, if it's wooded, she's having problems because it was a wooded area that we were driving through on the freeway, just south of Cloquet near Moose Lake area. And it's a spooky area. I mean, it really is. It's just a weird. I've heard other weird stories about that stretch of highway. Joe, Joe. Obviously, Joe and his whole family saw a bright fluorescent green orb right at the side of the freeway there. Also, and they all saw it. And it kind of freaked them all out. There's always something that I've taken so many stories from that. I call that the triangle.
Lee just made an interesting comment. That area is got a lot of quartz.
Oh, it does. Tons of it. It's almost it's granite and quartz. Quartz veins.
It's all granite and quartz.
Yeah, it's crazy. So I don't know. Does that have something to do with it? But my point is, I can't just make it go away.
Right.
But
so how do you handle it?
And how do you handle it? You don't. You kind of feel cursed for the rest of your life because I know something you don't know. Like when you're walking home alone at night, which he's not thinking about, but I am.
Mm-hmm.
And I can't stop thinking about it. Take the garbage out. You're like, you're looking around above you. You're looking everywhere. You're looking on your roof. You're going, is something going to grab me? Because I'm glad we were in our car. I can tell you that. The thing could have, just grabbed me and or her and lifted her, gone. Whatever it was, I have no idea.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think that could, and I don't know. I'm learning. I'm newer. You're a trailblazer. Thank you so much for what you've done, Doug.
But it's worse when you're the Monster Quest guy and you see something like that because you're screwed. You're like, oh yeah, right. Thank God she was in the car. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then I would have thought, oh, my imagination's just getting.
Oh, I mean, I've heard both your stories separately, and yeah, you guys saw the same thing, no question.
No, we did. I mean, it really happened, but did it happen because we're open to this, right? Or did it happen because they wanted us to, because we're in the media, wanted us to communicate these stories in the future or whenever, or you know what I mean? So you just
I think you're open to it, man. In my opinion, you're open to it, and they recognize it's that Mothman quote. Once he noticed or they noticed that you noticed them, and now they're noticing you. Something to that effect.
Yeah,
they are aware. I think that's it, man. Geographical locations and that. I think these creatures kind of hide out.
In other words, the
whatever
perfect
they are.
storm. The perfect storm happens.
Bingo.
Right location, right day, right lighting, right weather, right person.
Well, and you're out and about a lot. You know what I mean? Some people never leave within a square block of their home. You're all over the place. So that too is a big part of it. You have more opportunities to see stuff because you're out and about and looking at the world lots, and you're observant.
And I know I'm more observant because, like, I'll take road trips with people, and I pay attention to how much they're looking at the world while we're on a road trip.
Mm-hmm.
Do they ever look to the right? Do they ever stare into the woods as we drive by? Do they stare? Oh, there's a cool field, a little overlook pond. Because to me, I'm looking because I might see a Bigfoot or something in that field because it's an opening and it's a moment in time. But most people, 90%, don't look at anything.
I'm always looking for old cars and old motorcycles.
Yeah, well, whatever. But you're observant, and at least you got to be observant. I mean, you really have to be looking. I'm on a swivel, man. I'm just. So does that make me a better driver? I don't know, or a worse driver. But I'm just, I'm everywhere. Look. looking up that mountain. And I'm doing the 3 count, because it's kind of scary when you're driving. But, you got to look there.
Yeah.
You have
But
to.
I think in the long run, it makes you more approachable, because then those people who have had those encounters aren't afraid to come up to you and say, hey, look, I haven't told anybody about this, but I know you'll listen to me. Here's what happened to me. And then the doors open wide and you learn more.
Yeah, I definitely. This topic has enhanced my life so much. I've met so many wonderful people through the years. I've met, even like Jeff. I wouldn't have.
Yeah, we become good friends because of it. It's great.
There's so many people you would never meet.
Yeah,
so it's a wonderful interest. I remember I was at a Bigfoot conference, and we were there was the buffet. They had just opened the buffet open to feed everybody. And a guy came in there and he yelled like really loud. And he goes, "Thank God I'm finally with my people." And he just, you know what I mean? And everybody understood exactly what he was talking about.
That's it.
That was so cool when he did that.
Roger's a good example of one of the great people I've met. I love Roger.
Oh yeah,
Roger and Carl, and just some great people.
Yeah, Carl, Roger. There's just so many people that you meet. I have to say, for me, it's probably getting into the multi-hundreds of great people I've met.
Yeah, you know everybody in this community.
Yeah, but it's just, there's such amazing people. Love you too, Roger. See?
Everybody in our chat. I love these people. They're great people. Awesome. Everybody, we just got a great chat group.
I wouldn't have met you. I wouldn't have got on your crazy train.
Yeah, you got to get off though every so often at certain stops.
Yes, you
go
do.
Back to real life,
and you got to pay your taxes and your bills and go back. That's true. But you can imagine, I've met a polar explorer that's gone for 6 months at a time, right, on a expedition, and then they got to come home. And
to reality.
What do they do at home? They just pace. They look out the window and pace and start planning their next expedition again. And that's kind of what's gotten into many of our listeners and many of the people I know. We get addicted to the whatever, the curiosity, and you never know. Any of us could be the next guy that gets something really amazing.
For sure.
Not for money or fame, but just to show the world what we've gotten.
Yep, truth and knowledge.
Yeah. All right. Anyhow, we're going to wrap up. Thank you so much, Bryan.
Honor. It's an honor.
I think people were digging the conversation.
Yeah, great conversation, Bryan. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jeff.
Definitely, you should get a FOM hat though.
That is a cool hat. And a mug. I love it.
It sounds good to me.
FOM. I want to see the FOM hat next time.
Fairies of Michigan.
Yeah.
I just processed that.
Oh
gosh.
Love it.
I have to now, and I'm going to show you and contact you when I get it made up.
Yeah, and by the way, your laugh made like the top 12.
Yeah, you got a good laugh. Yeah, you do have a great laugh, Bryan.
Oh, okay. Before we go, play that clip. It's a bonus clip. Just play that real quick.
Which one?
It's the bonus. It says bonus. We didn't play it.
I guess I'm not sure which one you're talking
and
about.
Clips. The clips.
Oh, the bonus clip. Oh, okay. Hold on one second. You mean that clip? Okay, hold on.
Earth to Jeff.
Well, I don't know. Oh, that one. Okay, now I get it. Give me a second here.
Stay on. Watch this.
Here we go.
Sierra, banana.
خط چشم میشه آیلاینر.
Потому что на него
Hello.
I think that one older guy was your dad, wasn't it?
I'll tell you, if I heard any of those while I was out in the forest at 2 a.m., I'd freak out.
Oh, yeah.
There you go. Okay. It's just stay tight. We're going to just play our quick wisdom. We'll wrap
Little
up
wisdom.
here.
We'll be right back. Everybody hang tight.
It's now time for Untold Radio AM Wisdom of the Week. Some mysteries may exist, not to be solved, but to slow us down, to interrupt our certainty, and remind us that we don't know everything. In a world hungry for answers, the unknown teaches patience, humility, and wonder, asking us to listen longer and question deeper. Good night. We hope to see you all next week. If you like the show tonight, please consider giving us a thumbs up, leaving a nice comment, and most of all, subscribing and hitting the bell so you will be notified when a new episode is dropping. Also, please share this episode. Now back to Doug and Jeff for our wrap.
And there we are.
And here we are.
Thank you. Give us the where they can find your two podcasts.
Oh, yeah, sure. Go to our YouTube channel at Bigfoots of America. And then if you need to get a hold of me, just go to bigfootsofamerica@gmail.com. And that's how you can contact me.
And you also have, don't you have a Facebook page too?
Yeah, we've got multiple Bigfoots of America, Bigfoots of Michigan, or you can just visit me at Bryan Sawyer, Bryan with a Y, Sawyer. Follow my profile, and then that will lead you to all the different platforms.
And soon coming, Fairies of Michigan.
Can't wait. Perfect.
All right.
Love it.
So, thanks everybody in chat. You guys were
Thank
just
you.
absolutely out of this world.
As always.
Amazing. And we'll talk soon, Bryan.
Sounds good. Thank you.
We'll see you all next week. Same time, same place. Bye.
Good night, everyone.
We'll see you guys.
I call you up in the middle of the night. Been bothered by dreams, ain't feeling alright. You give me comfort, say just give it some time. By the end of our talk, I'm feeling just fine. You and I will always know where we belong. This ain't no ordinary love we got going on. I'll pick you up in my 59 Ford. We head on down the road until we get bored. Just you and me and the sun and the wind. If the rain should start falling, we'll head on home again. Everybody else can see where we belong. Oh, ain't Water angel, drifting where the river bends, where salt meets rain and time pretends. The sunlight slows to silver gray and lets the busy world slip away. There's a quiet face in the bending reeds, where the calm the water keeps moving like a memory soft and true, from a world we almost knew. Water angel, rising just to breathe, then sinking back with the tide's release. He don't hurry hours, don't borrow tomorrow, just lets forgiveness follow sorrow. Scars on his back from careless days, maps for when you lost your way. Still he floats where the warm springs bubble, humming low what words can't double. You bring me beside you, all on your own, like you feel you're right at home. Oh, water angel, slow and wide, carrying calm through the rivers and tides, while the engines cry and the shoreline burns. You move like a good world might return. Oh, water angels, soft and true, with the sky and the sea passing through. You don't ask for much, just room to be, drifting easy, Mr. Manatee. Water angel, rolling in amber light, like the day don't wanna turn to night. As if time itself sat down to stay and learn to listen instead of say. When I come near, what do you feel? Do you sense the weight that I conceal? Are you curious, calm, or just passing through? When a restless soul drifts close to you. Water angel, what do you see in the hurried shape of you and me? What are you thinking when I float near? Do you know my wonder or my fear? If mercy had a weight and sound, if peace could swim instead of drown, it might look like you below, teaching what we forgot to know. Water angel, floating through the years, through warming waters, quiet fears. Someday when the current steers my boat and the loud learns how to float, until then you drift in moonlit blue, under mangrove shade and starlight too. A living prayer that asks no more than leave the water as we found it before. So here's to the slow and the quietly strong, to the grace that hums beneath the song.